Hello and welcome to Stream Scene. My name is DJ Tech Live. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. I'm glad that you guys are here. We have a lot of information to give you today. It's going to be great helping you with streaming, just the professionalism of the industry, gaming, and everything else. So make sure you write down your notes, get your notebooks, get your questions ready, and hold them to the end. Make sure you write them down, and we'll get started. To my left, we have the amazing co-host, Loco. How are you doing today?
Hello.
How are you feeling?
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. This is my first time doing a talk show / producing it. So a lot has gone into it, but I'm excited to be here and excited to get going.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So she was nervous, but she's doing great, guys. Look at her. She's built for this.
She's not going to die.
There you go. And today, guys, show number one, the pilot show. We have a very special guest that's very special to us and a lot of you out there. You've heard about his inspirational moments. You've heard about not his pancakes, but his waffles. You've heard about his amazing cooking and his amazing interaction with streamers and how much he's loved across the industry in and out. His name is Andy Lunique. How are you doing, Andy? Welcome, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am very honored to be here with all of you. I've had more than enough instances where I have felt completely blown away by the support you give me. And as somebody who now works at Discord as the senior account manager, so when it comes to premium relationships and sponsorships here at Discord, I handle those now. So good to see you all.
So what is your history with working with streamers? What got you into Twitch, and how did you find out about us, and what attracted you to working with us?
Well, I worked with content creators, streamers. The term influencers turned turnkey all over the place. And I noticed that I really had an affinity for most YouTube and Twitch stars. And I was a viewer, just like many folks, subbed to folks like Swiftor and watched, Man vs. Game and a lot of people in the early stages back in Justin. And then eventually when Twitch became what it was, I had a lot of friends who were starting to stream. So I decided to build my career around how those particular relationships work with content creators and studied different methods, a lot of different partner deals, paying attention to how the best practices would be working with some of those folks. So essentially, I would start building plans for agencies, and then eventually Sandbox Strategies in New York, my first parent company ever, took me in like the small useless child that I was, and decided to give me a shot at building some really important high-level plans, and then eventually consulted with lots of other groups. Then Microsoft picked me up, and I was at Microsoft for just about 2 years, just shy of 2 years, and ran their content creator and influencer plans for all devices, including Xbox, games, and Surface. And then eventually Discord became the #1 choice for me, and have some really exciting things to do in the future. So that's my background in this particular world. Before that, I was a chef, but we're not doing that right
now. So the very important message that you guys are seeing here today, whether you're an established streamer, if you're just coming up, if you're not even wanting to be a streamer, you want to get into the industry, the business of things, the analytics, the statistics, is he's happy. #1, that's the biggest thing that you need to really focus on. It's a thing that we need to be reminded constantly in the business, and that he reminds us constantly, because believe me, we all go to him and say, Andy, I'm not feeling it right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm about to explode. And he's like, no, you keep on this line. This is what you need to do. Look at this, that, and the other, and this is what you do. But stepping stones is what I want to really focus on in that message that he just gave us. Is streaming is not the end. It might be the end for some people. Some people just love streaming, but within streaming, you can grow, right? So there's stepping stones to take. You go somewhere you think you can take an idea. Once you branch that idea, you make it flourish, then you outgrow that area. You move from that nest and you start to populate to something bigger. And then eventually you get to a point where you have all these tools and assets around you. You can spread it and then grow even more. So Andy, I appreciate that. You've taught me that the most. I remember my first interaction with Andy was during PAX East or West. I can't remember what it was. I think it was East. And I wasn't there. He was doing Dreadnought, and I contacted him because I thought he worked for Twitch. And I was like, give me partnership. I was like, look, you got to understand, man.
How did you
need
get that
partnership. He
idea?
was- yeah. Well, it's because he spoke so professional. He was actually better than the partnership people back then. And he knew more about statistics and what needs to be done. He knew the real side of things, and he was compassionate about it, and he related to me. So it wasn't like him just saying, "You don't have the numbers." Bye. He was like, "We need to sit down and talk, draw out a plan." I've actually watched you a couple of times because you're friends with Carnage, and like it was very personal. And for the first time, I felt like I was actually reaching out to somebody. He was like, "I got a meeting with Twitch soon anyway," and I was like, "Yo, put me on that partnership." Yeah. And he was just like, and then like, what was it? Hours later, he's like, "I actually don't work for Twitch." Like, I felt like the biggest idiot in the world. So don't do that, by the way. Know who you're talking to.
Oh, you know,
well, you
we're
did end
in
up
a
getting
wild
partnership.
west.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
you did.
I did.
I mean, the industry is the Wild West in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
and yeah, I say back then because back then was so long ago, but this was 4, 5, just shy of 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, even before then, there was a difficult amount of hurdles you had to go through to find out who the appropriate people are to speak to. So sometimes, and even it's a challenge now, sometimes I can't blame someone for making the mistake. I've made that mistake, like, oh, you're not the person I'm supposed to be talking to. Crap. So yeah, I understand that.
So let's talk a little bit about the show and who the heck Loco and DJ Tech Live are, because we're going to be talking every week about streaming, covering a ton of different topics, suggestions from you guys, answering questions, bringing on a new guest every week. So a little bit about myself. My name's Loco. That's my handle. I've been streaming for now almost 3.5 years. I've been partner for 3 years, and I'm a variety caster. And I started StreamerSquare. I'm the owner of StreamerSquare, and it's a website dedicated to streaming. I started it actually before I started streaming myself. And then once I started streaming, fell in love with it. I went full time, just got caught up with that. So the site was kind of like on the back burner for a while. I brought the site back I think it was January 2016, brought it back, took it seriously. And we have writers now. We have, I have, video editors and people that make review products and stuff. So it's getting pretty serious. And now we're going to bring you guys live content on the Twitch channel, to help you guys with streaming. And along the way in my streaming journey, I met DJ Tech Live, and we came together to make a stream team. And I've been working together for a year now, actually, pretty closely. So why don't you, share your story, DJ?
My story. Well, I came here during Justin TV and saw it and thought it was one of those GeoCity sites because it was ads everywhere and it scared me and I left. And I thought it was like a really bad site because, only reason why I came because I heard somebody did something stupid and I wanted to see it. And so I was very in touch with like IGN, G4 TV and stuff like that. I knew a couple of editors and a couple of game reviewers and I wanted to get into that business. My dream was to work for IGN, and thank goodness I didn't do that, right? Just because I would have been very transparent on my reviews. So I ended up coming to Twitch when Twitch became a thing. And Towley, at the time I was playing World of Warcraft or getting into it or something. And I saw Towley, and Duck Sauce was the first guy that I started like watching.
I haven't heard Duck Sauce in a long time.
Yeah, I was the first person I watched was Duck Sauce because when I went to this channel, he was like, "Hi, my name is Duck Sauce," and I was like, "What voice? Is this God?" And so and he was real chill. He's from home. He's from New York and from around the Brooklyn area, and I felt really at home in there. And then I met Towley, and the first thing I said to Towley was, "Man, you're not a butthole like everybody says." He was like, "Oh, well, thanks." And he's the first person that took me under his wing and put me on his stream team. And, I started growing a little bit from there. Then I met Carnage and said that I needed to start streaming. And I started streaming. First day I had 67 people on my channel. Back then was a lot. Next day I had 5. So, and then I felt the pain of 3 months in. I got my first 1,000 followers plus. And I said, now it's time for partnership. No, I got denied 4 times. And I said, I'm done. I met Andy and I told Andy I was done. And a lot of people said, it was a racism thing. And I told the people it wasn't. I'm just not doing the right things. Andy sat me down, looked at analytics, numbers, statistics. We formulated a plan. He says, first thing I need you to do is stop worrying about the numbers and play a game you're going to enjoy. Just play a game. If you can capture me in that game, you can capture anybody. And it was ESO. It was Elder Scrolls Online. I didn't care about partnership. I played it, got 150 viewers every single day. Plus, I got up to 200, 300 viewers, and I got partnered. I got offered partnership at that point. It wasn't even me putting in for partnership. And ever since then, I've been on the up climb. Still cried to Andy because I'm an overachiever. I don't feel that 150 is good enough. I want 200. And once 200 comes around, I want 300 because I feel like I have this thing to infect everyone with positivity and growth. And I want to see multiple people successful, how cheesy it sounds. And I told Andy, I said, something I'm not doing right. I'm in the wrong area. And I met Loco. And me and Loco talked at...
It was after TwitchCon.
Yeah, after TwitchCon, we went to Amazon for a secret project. And I was afraid of everyone. We were on a nasty bus with a stripper pole that was used. And me and Loco sat next to each other, and we both looked at each other like, we don't know these people. And we started talking. And ever since then, I told Loco, I said, you know what? You're the person I was looking for. I have a plan. If I do this panel and it gets selected, I wanted to form something, which I did at the time because that was TwitchCon 2, right? And I told her, I said, we need to get together and we need to make some differences on Twitch. We need to come together as two people that were in the same community that we outgrew and formulate something that's great, men together communities, and make it about communities. And we, ever since then, we bumped heads and clicked. We knock heads constantly because we care about each other and the business so much.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we this talk show's been talked about for what, over a year now, really.
Yeah.
And here we are today. And I'm now a variety streamer. I'm not as big as Loco. I'm probably about half of her audience. And but you know, I have a very, very tight knit community that takes care of each other. They're like pit bulls. If somebody comes in and tries to wreck that home, they attack. They love each other. They love catalysts in the community. I've recently just stepped a little bit above the streaming level and got into hosting on a professional level, and I love it. I love it, every bit of it. I'm practicing actor as well. So it's been a great pleasure knowing Loco and knowing Andy. And the whole message I want to send you guys, not to stay on myself, is surround yourself by positive people who are about something. Don't waste your time with anybody that you feel that's going to take away from you, take away from your positivity, or come to you in only means of self-gain. It's the most important thing that I can tell you. And it's hard to find those people. And it's okay to fail, because failure leads to success. It's okay to get suckered once or twice, but don't let it be 3 times. Learn from your mistakes, find positive people. And when you both see success, it's the most beautiful chemistry you can have.
So let's talk a little bit about the show itself and what to expect from us. So this is going to be about a 2 to 2.5 hour show every Monday at 7 p.m. slated right now. And the first half of the show is going to cover the latest streaming news. So any new stuff that's been out, Twitch announces anything. We'll just go over some of that stuff briefly. We'll be talking about our guest, obviously. We'll also be talking about games. We'll have a segment called Stream or Skip, which goes over a couple of games that are either coming out or just came out and our recommendations on whether to stream them or not. So that's going to be the first half of the show. We'll take a brief 3 to 5 minute intermission, grab yourself a drink, and in the second half, we'll bring you guys a topic of the week, which will our guests will have the leeway to choose. And this week, we are going to be doing how to communicate with PR and developers. A topic that just there's not enough information out there about, for sure.
Honestly,
and Andy's that number one guy.
I'm rethinking how to go and answering these questions. You know, every now and again, you see one of my tweets going, "Hey guys, you've got 3 months before your entire life goes straight to hell. Start contacting folks right now." And I'm usually subtly hinting, like, "Hey, look who's poking other people in the industry," just to try to help out, because I wish I could make like a catch-all, but there's just too many missed opportunities to ignore not being able to help out. So that's why we're talking about that.
Yeah, and that's important. That's important because, like, you know, the thing that we were laughing about a little bit beforehand is that Andy was working at Microsoft, and Microsoft is such a very, very serious place. And you know, we were wondering about Andy, like, where have you been? Where's my tips? Man, it's already summer and I'm drowning out, and I forgot because you usually remind me, you know. So it's it's a beautiful thing to have him be able to do that now. But anyway, go ahead, Loco.
I was just gonna say, we'll try to keep a Q&A session at the end of the show. So if you guys get any burning questions, we have some time left. Definitely hang on to those as we get to the last segment of our show. So I guess without further ado, let's get into some streamy news. That kind of rhymes. So
first show, guys. I mean,
all right.
That was priceless.
I tried. All right. So first segment of streaming news. Twitch released their extensions feature, which is really, I think the revolution of streaming. Like, I think it's gonna be huge for Twitch.
So break it down for me if you could. Explain it like I'm 5.
All right. DJ, you want to try this one? You've already used extensions. I haven't tested
Sure.
them out yet.
All right, so basically what extensions are, they're overlays that goes over the stream, not personally for you, but personally for the viewers. So you can even see it in your preview screen. If you're on your dashboard, you can see the extension pop up as well. You can change the emblems if you want. So let's take Streamlabs, for instance. They're a huge one a lot of people are using. I'm using it. They actually provide you with your own currency, extension currency. You can treat it as a chat currency if you want, but basically I have this little emblem of my emote, Tech All, which is like the robot going like this. So you click on that and it actually brings up some menus and shows you like a treasure chest that you can get for being active in the chat, currency. They can name a certain thing. For instance, people are trying to make me eat pineapple pizza if they get 1,000 blips. I hate pineapple. It's a really fun and interactive way to keep the chat active. And what Streamlabs are doing is they're trying to defeat that number gap of chatters versus viewers. And active chatters obviously turns into viewers. So they're really trying to keep people on the page and active at all times. It's a really nice little thing. Not only that, you have music jukebox that's on there that you can use. There's they included a stream boss. They included, like, it's kind of like Bit Boss. They included a whole bunch of different tools to your exposure, like disposal, right there on the screen. That doesn't take away from your overlay that you don't have to set up. You go through your dashboard, click a couple buttons, set it up the way you want to, and it's done. And it's really cool and it's really innovative. I've seen people with animated stuff already. There's one guy that's a Street Fighter person. He has like Ryu going Hadouken and it shoots it and it opens up the menu. It's really cool stuff. And it makes it to where devs, coders, amateurs or professionals can create their own overlays. It gives them a lot of tools and extensions. And it's only the beginning. For instance, I'll give you another one. Destiny 2, right? How many times you're going to get, oh my God, your Destiny character is amazing. Like, what's your gear score?
Yeah.
You know, and they literally can click on the screen and see your gear score because it links your account.
Wow.
It's
Great thing
really
about
cool.
that, it's real-time information.
Wow.
Yeah, it's legit. And it's by the Destiny creators. It's not like it's really cool. It's provided by them. So it's really cool. And multiple games have that. So it's really cool.
So
and there's only going to be more that's going to be added. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Please go ahead.
I was just going to note that on launch, I think there was about 20 to 22 extensions. There's already over 30. They've been adding new ones. So if you guys haven't checked out extensions since launch, you should go take another look because they have added a couple of new ones, a couple of neat ones too. And the Destiny 2 one is actually one of those. I think they added like a Elite Dangerous tracker as well. A couple of games have gotten some new
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds got an extension as well. The thing is, though, is that you can only have 2 active, and there's one that's menu based. You can only have one activity one on your overlay at a time. So, of course, if you're playing Destiny, you could take away your overlay currency because if you have chat currency already, you should just use that. So I have 2 currencies, right? So I have glitches and blips. Blips is the on-screen currency. If I'm playing Destiny, I'm gonna take that overlay away and put Destiny on it. And then the menu one is Amazon, right? So people ask you all day, hey, what's your PC build? Well, you can have the PC build right underneath it in your information section. They could click on it and it links you to your Amazon affiliate so they can buy the parts and it helps the stream out at the same time. So
There are three major wins with this particular extension. As I'm listening to it, I can hear two advantages for brands and one more advantage for folks who do creative streaming like me.
Mhm.
And I see this like example. Let's just say there was a Pizza Hut sponsored event with a streamer, and all of a sudden they had the ability to say, you will gain a certain amount of currency much quicker in this particular broadcast. And once you gain a certain amount, they send you a pizza,
Hmm.
during the broadcast. Like, so you're watching 24-hour stream, and let's say you accumulated 6 hours, it's time for a snack, and they go, here's a promotion, you send a pizza, and they
That's
kind of
cool.
upsell you elsewhere.
I
It's
was
something a brand
thinking,
can take advantage of.
yeah, I was thinking for you, it's funny because we kind of like, made sure tested the stream and make sure everything worked, and we act like you. Well, I was you, and me. And I said it would be so sweet to see your show pop up and you're cooking this nice meal and everybody's like, oh my God, I'm salivating. And you're just like, click on the screen and the recipe pops up and it goes by step of what you're doing.
That is legitimately what I was thinking, because the
Yeah.
hardest part of the cooking stream is I can't put the recipe in a place that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I think I don't like to take up too much real estate in the corner, because that's
Mhm.
that's dead air, and I don't think anyone needs to see that. You need to see the method, and then the recipe. Right now, the recipes go to my Discord because I didn't get approved for another website. So the truth is, that's pretty badass. Like, that's actually
Yeah.
very, very cool. Not bad.
And it's all on like the viewer side too, so they can move it around on their own screen. They can close it if they
Yes.
want, or bring it back up if they want. So it's not something that one person turns on and now everyone has access, like, can see it on the stream. It's totally like on the viewer side, which is even better because people have all these flashy things going on. You got the cups and the bit bosses and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like so this is like the fact that the viewer can control it and turn it off on their end is awesome.
It's an
Wow.
amazing thing because streaming, and this is one of the panels that both Loco and I are going to be on at TwitchCon. We'll go into deeper explanation then, but the evolution of streaming is crazy because we say way back in the day, and when we say like 3 or 4 years is not, but streaming has dog years, right? So 1 year feels like 7 when it's streaming, when you're so serious, because we streaming is one of the hardest jobs we've ever done in our lives. Like, it's exhausting mentally, physically, you name it. And streaming back in the day, you look at those people that had their streams, they had overlays all over their screen. It was like more overlay than you saw them, or the
Yep.
game. And they had all this interactive crap going off, explosions and stuff. And they're like, so cool. And you're just like, I just want to see the game. And now everyone wants to have the most minimum little thing on their screen. They want to pay homage to you, but at the same time, we rather show you nothing because it's like a movie. You don't want to see all that crap when you pay money to go to a movie. You just want to see the movie, So now having that overlay be something that you can control, I clapped. Like, I looked at the screen and I was like, because I knew it was coming, but I didn't understand that it was going to be so innovative, because I was one of the alpha testers, and it sucked holding it in because I wanted to tell everybody, like, oh my God, you don't know what's coming. Like, just hold on, and it puts graphic designers and coders in major business on Twitch, and creative streams can show how they're building extensions. It's a beautiful thing around, guys.
Right now, I would pay good money for someone to get. I mean, I already had a great artist, a friend of mine, designing great overlays and great extensions and great branding. She built my brand that no matter who works with me in the future will have to use the same types of layouts and fonts, and she's built it perfectly to build upon, but she doesn't have the time to do the animations. If I knew a good animator to do some of the things that I wanted to do for the channel, there are people who pay hand over fist because you're launching a business that is worth the investment. That sounds like something I would absolutely do.
Yeah. It's your branding.
Yeah, I mean, animators. I mean, I think one of my video animators for YouTube gave me a lower third that animates with my hands. Brilliant! And I haven't even launched my YouTube channel. Absolutely brilliant. I love it.
That's awesome. And I think that brings up, like, this whole extensions feature brings up, like, the whole ecosystem that Twitch has. Like, people think that streaming or Twitch is just about, like, becoming a streamer. Everyone just wants to become a streamer, but there's so much that you can do in this realm, and I think it's one of the things that we try to teach people on the website is there's other opportunities. You don't have to become the biggest streamer or become a full-time streamer to be involved in streaming. If you have a passion for Twitch and this industry, we hope to teach you guys, now, like, people are going to be hiring developers for extensions. There's, artists is obviously something that's been around for a while, but they're becoming more and more needed as more people get into streaming and start to take it seriously. Working like what Andy does, being a community manager is another position you could do. So there's just like so much that you can do besides just streaming.
Yeah, and the most beautiful thing about it is like I and Andy, we got to discover this as we're not really first generations. We're like 1.5. And like
we're not vanilla.
yeah, we're not vanilla,
Yeah.
but we're like vanilla and chocolate put together. We're that mix right now, but yeah, we're
we're quite literally, if you were to take you and me and just like kind of we have a good shade going on here.
Yeah, it's like a look of it's like a grayscale, but the cool thing about it is we don't know where this is going. Yeah, no, we do know where it's going, because you asked somebody 2-3 years ago, that question would pop up in chat. So what is your backup plan so when Twitch fails? Because video games, not going to hold me for long. You're going to get old. And people got scared that didn't have degrees. Like I have 2 degrees. Loco has a degree. Like Andy is fully up. He's good. But you ask certain streamers that were fresh out of college that didn't, or fresh out of high school, or went to college and noticed that they got way more money than that they were good in any other business and didn't think it was worth the money to waste. They're doing huge. They got lots of money, and they didn't really, they got managers now. They're hiring. They have a business they have to look after, worry about taxes, insurance, all this stuff. But what happens if it falls? And Twitch's backup plan was, yes, everyone comes around saying, well, Twitch is going back to Justin TV. Absolutely. That's not saying that Justin TV was what Twitch wanted to be. It just was the wrong time for it. A lot of things weren't working. So they started to edge out what is popular now, games. Okay, now we got TV shows in real life. We got creative. We got people blacksmithing stuff like this. At first, I was against it, but when I watched my first young 13-year-old, no, it was like 13 or 14-year-old, I can't remember. He was blacksmithing with his dad. I was like, this is amazing, because I would have never seen this if it wasn't for Twitch.
There are so many avenues that Twitch has opened up for live content that a lot of other folks that attempted when it came to live shows. They wanted to bring the same event to TV, but they were missing the sake of interaction. They were missing something. They were missing what makes being able to directly interact with someone special. And now what Twitch and Mixer, Twitch has done, in the beginning of it, has essentially just created this new barrier to entry, kind of like here's where you really have to be to really make an impact. And now I've thought about so many ideas that brands and even streamers could do to get us involved. And just as you said, seeing someone using, working with metal, there's Mary Contrary, he does wood, and she sent me like multiple things, with the wood she's done. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant work. I can't wait to see what we do in the future, because now if I tell a lot of my chef friends, I'm like, are you making a dinner tonight? You catering, or they do prepared meals? I'm like, turn on the camera. Doesn't matter what platform you're using, turn on the camera. If you were able to show someone live streaming making your food, not saying it works in every instance, but I'm making your food right now and here's the live stream, you can watch how I do this whole thing. It's brilliant. I would love to see that. Prepared food sections, like, hey, it's all safe. You can trust me. This is what's going on. Here's how I made this. Here's my process, and it's coming to you in the next half hour to next day. Brilliant.
You're definitely gonna see more content that is not just video games on Twitch. So as a streamer or a wannabe streamer, you should consider, what else can you provide besides just sitting there and playing video games? There's just so much competition. So just always think about that next step. Twitch is constantly innovating, and competition is only growing. There's only more and more people getting into it. So think about like what you can bring that's different. There's a lot of opportunities in music, talk shows, creativity, outside of just gaming. So dance
for the love of God, dance.
Even if you're bad at it, you can get better at it. Like
I would watch somebody who didn't know how to dance on their daily choreography. Just if you can get better, I would watch.
Better. I love it. So cool. It's like drawing, right? Like I don't care. Like you can make a nice splash for Riot Games. Clap on that. What gets me is the dirty work. How you sketched it, how you went about your process, how did you build your colors? What brushes do you use? How did you build your brushes? Did you build your brushes? Who's your influences? That, and as an artist, that gets me going, and that's why I live stream my art every Sunday. Like we have Creative Sunday every Sunday, unless I'm sick or I'm out. And heck, even when I'm sick, I do it. And you wouldn't like I do emotes for a lot of streamers. And when I'm doing those emotes, people thank me up and down because they're like, God, we can see the finished product, but seeing it being done and knowing that it's not that hard to do, I could do this. Or I like that you put 3 hours into each emote. I see why your prices are extremely high. I'm good about that because a lot of people short themselves. Because if you just see like short product or like finished product in front of you, when you go up to somebody and say, hey, how much are your emotes? These are pretty good. $30. Okay, great. Boom. You're shorting yourself. You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to turn on the stream, but see value in yourself. Like if I spend 3 hours per emote and they're like, hey, how much are your emotes? I'm like $75 to $100 an emote. Okay, all right, cool. Thank you. I see how much work you put into it is what I get out of that, and go on from there. So yeah, definitely turn on a stream, man. Like this is the new wave and it's not going away because mobile is everywhere.
So are you guys going to TwitchCon?
Absolutely. I'll be at TwitchCon.
Andy, you going to TwitchCon?
I shall be at TwitchCon in secret locations. I actually
I don't
will
know what
not.
that means.
I'm pretty sure I won't be at the show. I will just be all over TwitchCon.
Gotcha. So, did you guys see the Twitch partner shirts and the redesigned shirts?
Yep.
The old and the new. So
Yeah.
if you guys did not miss that, Twitch is going to be giving partners who have bought a ticket to TwitchCon before a certain date free shirts or jerseys, and they were revealed I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people weren't too happy with them. So the team went back, redid them, and the response has been a lot better. What do you guys think? I'm gonna put up the old and the new so you guys can see the difference. But did you guys get a chance to check out the shirts?
I didn't. I saw them. I had to ask. I saw it. And I was just like, didn't you have one just like this? Like
The new
did they
ones are the
yeah. I'm looking
yeah.
like I swear I've seen her in this shirt. Am I crazy?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have one of those. I
God, I
wish.
could have sworn you had one. Maybe you were just wearing a purple jersey. I don't know what it is, but I was just like, don't you already own? Like, did they jack your idea? I'm just kidding.
Actually, these are like pretty much what they've had in the past few years. So a lot of partners who have had meet and greets in the past have ones that are similar. The material looks like really soft though. I zoomed in on the picture, but I think they look a ton better. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, now that I can talk about it, I knew about the after ones for a while. I sat down and talked to Aurelian myself. Was at PAX West, and this wasn't going to happen, by the way. So the new ones weren't going to happen. They were going to just give us the ones that we have because it's a shame. It's a double-edged sword. Okay, so we hear jerseys and we freaked out, right? I freaked out because I thought they were legitimately going to give us jerseys, and I think a lot of people did that, felt that way as well. And when we saw it, we were kind of like, oh, so you meant baseball T-shirt, It's a T-shirt, So, and she asked for criticism. She asked for constructive criticism. I gave it. I said, look, I see why people are upset. They read jerseys. They see T-shirts. It's nothing like the older ones. And she's like, but they're not jerseys. And I was like, I understand, but you guys chose the word. So it comes with consequences, but I know you guys can recover from this. And she just got mowed by hundreds of people. And it was heartbreaking to see. And I spent some time and talked to her personally at PAX West. And guys, when I say this woman is passionate about us, she had tears in her eyes because all she wants to do is make people happy. And that's her job, right? Her job is to partners relations, partnerships, and make us happy. And it's so hard to make 45,000 partners happy when you're one person.
They didn't have to do this though. Like, I was surprised that they went back and redid the shirts. I was like, okay, next year they'll take the feedback and it'll be better. But the fact that they turned it around a month before TwitchCon, made new shirts that clearly like a lot of people were happier about. I mean, that's just like above and beyond what I was just blown away. I was like, you guys, that's way too nice. Like that's insane. Like they're gonna have thousands of partners there. So you'd think that all this was done, and I don't know. It's just crazy that they did that, but.
there's something to be said about the community being as vocal as they were, and it wasn't in a sense trolly what everyone was talking about. It wasn't everyone going ha ha ha. It's
There were
more
some
like
bad eggs though. There were
there's always
some
a bad egg or
people
two.
crossing
Like
the
there's some
line.
people who are ridiculous, but there is something to say, hey, I feel a little bit cheated here, or I don't feel good about this. And it's not because they want to nail Twitch. They go, I want to wear something I
Passionate.
feel good about.
Yeah.
That's about it. Because
Passionate.
I'd be proud to wear the new one. It'd be
Yeah.
cool if I earned it. Because if I'm a partner and I earned it, there's something else there. I have not earned that particular jersey in my career just yet. So that's how I see it. So if it's like, hey, you know what, I want to rock this, because I've had the same experience with my old chef jackets, where if it wasn't pimp, and I'm using that term very loosely, if it wasn't ridiculously good looking, we wouldn't put it on. If you know what I mean? Like there's something about it. I'm walking around with pride and something represents me. It says something about the community in a good way. The fact that the outcry was there. And then of course the response, look, as you said it, was turned around so quickly. Like you can tell we cared about you, we heard you, we got this.
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point. That was the one thing I said to Erin. I this is going to sound like a soap opera. I grabbed her by the hands and I stared in her eyes and I said, look, that shirt, jersey, whatever the heck it is, even if it was a purple paint, is so important because that was a milestone in so many people's careers. It's the stepping stone. It's the little things that you get from Twitch, like the hoodie, that just makes people feel like I'm here now. I have gotten past that one line that I thought I didn't get past. Now I was on to the next one. And I was like, you can make this right easily. And I was like, don't look at it as people badgering you and beating you up. And yes, there were some nasty things said. Look at it as pure passion, that people wanted to feel like they're important out of the 45,000 people that you're caring for. And I got a message from her and she says, okay, I'm gonna show you 2 designs. You better not say anything to anybody. I was like, all right. She showed me the first one, but it was redone. I'm not going to talk about what it looked like. And I was like, that's better. That's a better baseball tee. Like I was like, I'll wear that. And then she was like, well, about this one. And she showed me the one that says after. I was like, that's it. Just give them exactly the same crap that they had before. And everybody was like, the jersey's back. And I was like, guys, it ain't a jersey. It's a t-shirt still, It's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But it's and everyone was like, I love you. You're the best. Like, it was just so funny. Everyone flipped and was praising her. And she just had to laugh. But it's a beautiful thing to see. Even if it was bad, I love seeing that passion. I love seeing people passionate about the company, because at the end of the day, this is what we have. And if it goes away, or the people that we have now that actually show that they care go away, and we get stuck with people that don't care, and they would have been like, well, you guys get nothing. They could have done that.
Actually, is there a Twitch apron yet?
Yes,
I think there
actually,
was a
there
St.
is.
Jude Twitch one, wasn't there?
No, it was an apron for the cooking launch. They had certain cookers or streamers that were cooks or chefs. I'm sorry, I said cookers. Hey, certain cookers.
It's not that hard. It's one word.
You cooking. Well, you know what? I thought you
cookers
because.
Cooker is what you say in London when you want to talk about a stove, DJ.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought chef was a level. Okay.
This is now Cooking 101 show.
I thought chef was a class. All right. So anyway, chefs, they like Lula and a couple other people, and they got to introduce a new cooking channel. And I believe they did get aprons that said Twitch. They did. They absolutely did get aprons that said Twitch on them. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something to definitely talk about.
That's all, yes. But sorry, I
derailed
you a bit. I apologize.
It's all right. Cookers
no,
is a
we're
cool
actually
word
gonna
too.
go. We're gonna come back to you, Andy, because we're gonna be talking about Mixer.
Yeah.
Mixer launched their mobile streaming app. So if you stream to Mixer, you can stream games directly from your phone onto Mixer, or even capture IRL content with their Mixer app. So did you know anything about this before you left?
I cannot confirm or deny that, actually. There is plenty I cannot say for the foreseeable future.
I see pork chop in the chat.
Let me tell you this right now, though. As somebody who is, again, a champion of the influencer, not just a champion of one platform.
Right.
Good show. I'm very excited to see what this does. I mean, right now, at a time where the phone has most of media attention right now, we got the new iPhone 8. 8X, the larger 8,
S Plus,
X.
yeah.
X Plus, we've got a Pixel and a new Samsung phone coming out. So naturally, when you're thinking about all these brand connections and things you can do with your phone, this is a good timing announcement. I'm really excited to see what people do. Games on mobile have just done nothing but impress me over the last year. Like there's games that I'm playing that belong on my Nintendo Switch, and I'm actually
playing a mobile game right now.
Yeah, I'm playing the heck out of
We've been
Summoner's
streaming
War, bro. Like
I'm gonna play Super Senso, and I'm actually gonna stream a couple other games that I have there just to see what it's like. But it's just kind of like, hey, I would love to be able to go to the App Store, look at a game and see, we have a lot of false ads lately, but you'd be able to look at a game and see, hey, someone's streaming this, they're playing it right now. And just like the same way we want to see how games are, a mobile game has the highest amount of time risk. Most mobile games that are free to play have the ability to say, okay, I'll try this out, and it sucks, but you still wasted your time. If you go check out how it's being played, that'd be fantastic just to go live and see how someone plays it. Oh, this might be up my alley. Cool. It's a great transaction. I'm excited to see what Mixer does with this.
And what you said, this show, it doesn't just stand on one side either, guys, because we're here to inform you about the whole industry of things, and we have to be very unbiased. I mean, well, we could be biased about things, but we have to show both good and bad of both sides. And I'm happy for Mixer. And when I was at PAX West, I actually went and checked out Mixer, their setup. They had like a couch set up. It was very homely feeling. It felt like a little apartment. It was really nice. I thought it was really nice. They were tucked in, on the left side of us. And I was happy to see that, because competition is a beautiful thing. And it's only going to make Twitch be better. And then Twitch is only going to make Microsoft be better. And Microsoft and Twitch has a real trolley relationship. It's lovely. It's not hate. It's kind of like, hey, we see what you're doing, but look what we can do. And, type situation. So it's really nice. I like it.
It's when I think about the barrier to entry when it comes to streaming, okay, there is something about having an easy way to turn the button on and go live is what I'm really enjoying about everything right now. Like, Mixer, the Mixer, the fact that it's integrated into Windows 10 and it's on all the consoles, people who I don't know what streaming is, and then they try it and they become one of us in the future. Cool. Like, because think about it. Like, I remember 3 years ago, okay, and don't laugh at me. You two are going to laugh at me. I spent $2,000 building an entire stream setup, the PC, the lights, the microphone.
How am I going to laugh?
Dude,
my
that's
computer
nothing.
is
Like,
over $2,000.
what are you talking about, man? Yeah.
So
that's cheap
that's why
for
I
a
say
streaming
don't laugh
setup.
at me. It's like, oh, Andy. Oh, you pigeons here, $2,000.
You peasants. Get at me when you have two computers.
What I did was I built that whole thing, but I remember how poor I used to be when I didn't have the ability. So now let's think about it. Somebody who scraped up all their pennies and got a used Xbox One or a used PS4 could potentially go live one day. You know what I mean? You could be that somebody. Like, that is the dream.
Absolutely.
That rags to riches story. If you can totally nail it, like, you get affiliate, boom, then you have enough for this, boom, you do this. Like, you don't need to go the path that I did, and I did it as an experiment. I streamed for 30 days straight. I still have no effing clue how any of you do that crap, and I swear, like, it was well worth it. So I think about barrier to entry and these platforms that we're working with now, they're just making it easier for people to press the button and go. I like it.
Yeah.
Why is everyone laughing
from your
at me in
phone
the
is
chat?
great.
Because you're $1,000, $2,000.
You're
They're like,
$2,000.
No, the cool thing about it is, Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna derail a little bit.
Well, this is very quick. One of the most popular streams on Twitch right now that gets the most viewers, especially people that I've never seen in my life, is in real life. And being able to go out, like, I did a vlog for the first time, and I haven't edited yet because, time. But I did a behind the scenes of hosting, behind the scenes of Twitch, where it really goes on. Meet the real people behind Twitch and what they are and who they are. Because a lot of people, it's like, what do you like seeing the most? Yeah, you go to the movies to see, let's say, Robert Downey Jr. He's like, man, he's a cool Iron Man. But you know what gets me? Seeing him out in the real world, what he does, like, in his daily life, like, putting together charities or whatever. And, like, that's cool to me. So having your cell phone ready to just buy us, they got stands, they got lenses for your phones and mics and stuff. Your phone might look like a science project, but at the end of the day, there's so much you can do, but just by walking around, I've seen people get 500 plus viewers just by walking around and talking about life.
IRL is huge. It's because like you said, it's different, it's interesting. Like, and again, it's one of those things where it's like if you get into IRL and you're smart about it and you make it interesting, like there's huge opportunity for growth, even for like if you start from nothing, as opposed to again like just trying to grind video games all the time. Just another one of those areas. But
we're gonna dip into real life too, right, Loco? Yeah.
Wait, what? No, not me.
Conventions.
That's all you.
Conventions. No, at conventions. We're gonna stream a little bit. She agreed. Get her.
Talk about going. What do you mean? I'm not going anywhere. I'm
going. She was like, wait a minute, outside? Nah.
No. I meet video games, okay? So our next piece of news is giveaways. Streamlabs is doing. Sorry, I just hit my mic there. Streamlabs is giving away something new every single day on their Twitter. Things ranging from PCs, new laptops, CPUs, graphics cards. They've given away a Switch, an Xbox, a ton of different stuff on their Twitter, guys. So check out the Streamlabs Twitter if anybody wants to link that in the chat. But yeah, DJ, have you seen this?
I looked into it and I couldn't believe it. I had to like research it out. You told me about it actually, and I was just like, they give away no darn laptop. Well, that's an actual nice laptop. They're not giving away like I'm gonna say no name brands, but they're not giving no blue light specials, guys. They're like really giving away
serious giveaways,
some nice stuff. Because they, and it's funny. I love how the industry wants the industry to grow. They don't want to crash it. They want more people to get involved. They want to give us the tools that we can't afford. And it's a beautiful thing. And Streamlabs is just growing so massively. You told me like a year ago Streamlabs giving away stuff, I would have laughed at you because I was like, I can't even get my testing bits to work, and now they're killing it, and their interface is changing. They're becoming more hip, they're becoming more available. And did you know that Streamlabs is also available on your cell phone now?
Ooh, it's available on your cell phone?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Yes. What? Available for Android right now. iOS is coming in the next by the end of the month, I believe they said. But yeah, you'll be able to use your overlays on your cell phone while you're streaming. So yeah. Awesome. And extensions. I'm not going to talk too much on that, but keep an eye out on that too. So
yeah, well, I'm sure they're working on stuff for extensions because when extensions came out, the first thing I thought of was, okay, where Streamlabs is here, can we tip directly on the stream now? So I was like, hey guys, why isn't this a thing? They're like, couldn't do it right now, but I do expect that to be something in the future, like Tiltify, being able to donate to charity if you do a fundraiser right on the page. Anything that takes you away from the channel that can be done directly integrated is like huge for streamers. Like, we don't want you to leave us, but we also like tips. So like, having Streamlabs and other companies' integration with extensions it's gotta be coming. It's gotta be coming. I've already talked to like people about it. Like, I'm like, come on, like, make it happen.
I swear, look, that smirk kills me every time. You got this smirk where you're just like, I'm gonna get what I want, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, every time. I was gonna say that's good learning about what's happening in the mobile space. I do believe that if you forgot, if you thought for a moment that mobile is a thing, it's whatever, and it's just like that never really died, and it barely even slowed down. Pay attention to mobile and the speed in mobile, and think about, as streamers, again, we're talking about advice here. There are folks that you should think about all of your opportunities to be mobile, because you never know where you'll be, where you can grab other people interested in content. And I think that's extremely important to remember. Like, you could be at every single convention where there's lots of IRL going on, but you might be at a food show. Oh, I'm using food show too often.
It's okay.
You could be at a movie night one day. You could be at a charity event, and you say, hey, you know what? I've got people who enjoy content like this. Share it out, because I plan on getting everyone I know who feels comfortable in front of a camera to turn it on more often once we get better battery life.
That's coming too. But yeah, you just I work in a hospital, guys, and I'm a mobile platforming specialist / engineer. Like, this is what I do. And mobile is definitely not going away. If anything, the stationary stuff that we have is going away. Everything's going mobile. Every mobile device that you're getting now is becoming more and more powerful. Look at the mobile device that you have now in your hand was more powerful than the rockets back when rockets were flying people to the moon, supposedly, right? So right now, hospital stuff. Yeah, you didn't know that the computer chip in your
no. I knew
oh,
that.
the supposedly part.
Supposedly, as if it was a conspiracy.
I do that. I do that to play both. I do that to play both sides. You know what I'm saying? There's people that are literally arguing this chat up and down that it was in the studio in Hollywood.
The Earth is supposedly round. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I walk on a flat surface here. No, anyway. But yeah, like for instance, there's a mobile app that your diapers that have chips in them that can tell temperature of your baby, and it can tell you how much acidity is in their urine, or if they're getting sick, and it goes to the mobile app and it shows you all kinds of stuff on your phone.
I've never heard of that.
There's pocket doctors now to where you can line your symptoms up on your phone, and the doctor can give you a prescription and everything you need right there and send it to your local pharmacy. There's all kinds of stuff going on. That's why mobile management is such a big thing right now, and mobile security is such a big thing, because everything, look how much you do on your phone now. If I would have told you 15 years ago, you're going to be buying stuff on your phone left and right to where you don't have to get your credit card. You just put your phone in front of it and boop, you bought it.
You'd laugh at me.
You'd laugh. Now we're going to be looking at our face at our phone, and we're going to be buying stuff all day just by like trying to Snapchat somebody, you know? So it's getting there, and mobile's not going away. So yeah, as Andy said, get into it. And it's more affordable than it's ever been right now. That's the beautiful thing about it. So anyway.
Minus one particular announcement, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give us any secrets? No,
it sounds like
no secret dropping.
The iPhone X is $1,000. There's nothing affordable about that. We're not talking about that right now.
You also don't need the iPhone X.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know.
But yeah, that
was the only thing that makes me go.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I laugh about people that say that, and I said the same thing until I said, "Oh, it's only $200 more than the phone I have in my hand right now," because you're not going to pay $1,000 flat out, right? You're going to pay it over time, and after 6 months, you can switch your phone. So it's like, it's one of those things. I still can't sit there and say, "Hey, I'm going to buy $1,000 phone," you know, especially
I'll buy the XS or whatever they call it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy the XXX when it comes out, or whatever it's called. So,
and anyways, the second part of the Streamlabs news is they have their own Stream Boss widget. So if you guys ever use the BitBoss battle things, I know I have, DJ. I'm sure you did
use
too.
it all the time. Used it
if you
all the time.
currently use Streamlabs and you just want everything on one program, then you can check out their widget. It looks a lot sleeker.
Have you not used it yet?
I have not transitioned to it yet.
I did.
Are you liking it?
I love it. I'm gonna tell you why I love it. It not only you can take away all your event stuff. You can just leave that because it counts for followers, right? So now when a follower follows, it takes damage and puts the follower name up. So it's awesome. It's like everything right here, and also bits, tips, extensions that fold through, like, you know, Humble Bundle and stuff like that. It does damage. So it's really cool. And it looks amazing. That one. Yeah. The black box behind that does, you know, it's transparent if you put it on your screen. It's a futuristic look right now, and they're building more. And you can change there's so much font on there. You can change the font.
Do they have CSS customization, or is that coming?
That's coming. That's coming down the line.
So you'll be able to tweak it exactly how you like it.
Yeah.
For the ignorant like myself, on some of the advantages of Streamlabs, let's just say you were either a rookie streamer or you were a rookie developer. What would make you involved in working with Streamlabs right now? Just, you know, one quick, maybe it's 1-2 sentences.
They're an open platform. They take suggestions all the time, and they have an all-star program that you can apply to.
Well, okay.
I like it because it's very like user noob friendly. Like, I like that you can customize things without knowing any coding. It also has like all of my alerts are on there, and they just have like a lot of customization and do so in an easy way. So
it just cleans everything up for you.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, super sleek.
You're telling me I should use Streamlabs for my stream is what you're really
saying. Think of it like this.
And not an official public endorsement, but I use Streamlabs. I like them. But I also haven't really tested I've used Streamlabs since it was Twitch alerts, and you know they changed their name. And now they are open to, I think they do YouTube and Mixer, I think, as well.
Yeah, they YouTube, Mixer, and some other platform I've never heard of, but the thing behind it.
I mean, just for me, like, I'm just saying, like, they've been around for a while. I haven't just had a need to leave them. And they keep bringing stuff. So, yeah, they just push out a lot of stuff. There's a couple of solid programs that people use, like Stream Elements, another one. Muxy is the the Bit Cup originator. Streamlabs got that over there, and their own twist to it. So there's it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. A lot more options for streamers.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I would say, the reason why you should use it is it keeps all your media in one place. So your animations that you have, your pictures that you put up. Back in the day, we'd have to keep all that stuff on a folder on our computer. Now it just stores it within Streamlabs. So if you were like, oh man, last Halloween I had this amazing animation, I want to do that again. And you just go back into your database that's on Streamlabs and you click it and upload it and it's done. Like that's it. It's not even uploading. You just click it and select it, and then it'll show up. You don't have to change your code, source coding or anything. It updates right there. You just save the changes on the website. That's the biggest thing that gives me about them.
Okay, I like it.
So that's the first streaming news. And if you guys want any more information about anything that we've covered, you can check out the website. It's all on there. Most of it's on the front page, so you'll be able to find more information about those articles. And we are going to move into the next segment, which is talking about a couple of video games in a segment called Stream or Skip that I just came up with myself. I know, I'm witty. So we'll talk about a couple games during the segment that have either come out recently or about to come out, and basically it's just going to be our opinion on whether you guys should play it, pass, maybe wait a little bit, and again, it's going to be each of our own perspectives on.
Now, hold on. I have to clarify. You said stream or skip. So, as somebody who's curious, I know that sometimes, again, time is a currency. Are you saying stream it and not play it at all, or just play? Can we like have play offline, stream it, and skip, or is it a stream or skip like straight hot and cold? I want to make sure I'm clear on this one. There's some games out there that are not stream friendly, as I had to ask.
Yeah, it's just basically like whether you would stream it or not. I mean, there's plenty of like amazing games that I would, play if I had that theoretical free time that I just can't find. If anybody finds it, let me know. But
Okay.
a lot of quality games out there, but just like they won't do well for the stream. And again, that's like some games DJ does well that I can't make fun, and there's some games that I can make really interesting that DJ can't. And I think you guys will find that week to week when we go over some games.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like that oxygen game. There's no way.
So our first game is going to be Destiny 2. This came out on console. Andy, have you had a chance to play Destiny yet?
Indeed, I have. Between the move from Seattle to San Francisco, for some reason, people let me use their PlayStations to log in. So I've had the ability to put in 8-9 hours.
Did you beat the story?
God, no. I have a tendency to ignore a lot of stories, so I keep redoing things over and over and over again, and I'm already overpowered for the story, so I'm feeling it. I will say that the game so far is strong. It will be much bigger, better later. However, unless you have plans to play with friends on different platforms and you're a PC person, hold off for the PC side of it. But the game is solid in my opinion, and there's very few games that can hold your attention for the 25 hours minimum that actually, hold you. So I think that's pretty cool.
DJ, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
You've been playing it.
Yeah, I played it. I have it on the PS4. I will have it on PC. I played it on both for the demo. I'm not gonna lie, on PS4, I was like, this game is great, but man, it'd be so much better on PC. And that's why I didn't play the first one, and because the game was made for PC. And playing PvP on a controller and dying 50 gazillion times, I was like, yeah, I'm not with this. But as you can see, this game is beautiful. This is on the PS4. And
dude, I
had to stop half the time and say, oh my God, guys, look at this. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is. I'm feeling the atmosphere right now. I'm chilled. Like, it's just an amazing looking game overall.
I think you just got lost in it for a second.
Yeah, I was like, man, look at this game. And the cool thing about it is on PC, it's just way better. It just capitalizes, and the fact that it's not just a port, it's a build from the ground up on PC. unlimited frames. If you have a computer that can run it, you're going to fall in love instantly. The control is there. It's smooth as butter. I am going to get lost in this game. I'm going to play it a lot. It's a great community game. You can have a guild in that game, like a clan. I think they call it clans. And you could do raids. You could do 4-man like content. You can do PvP, 3-man content. Like, it's got everything that I'm hurting for in the MMO right now, since MMOs are in a drought. So it takes care of the MMO forefront and the FPS for me. I say stream it. If you're new and you're worried about, oh my God, I'm going to get buried, don't worry about that. Have fun with it, because the great thing about Destiny is you choose your communities that you stream in for brand new games. And Destiny's that community that will take you in. And people love brand new people to games, because first they want to see how your reaction to the game is, what class you're going to play, what route you're going to go. Can they backseat you? Can they help you in PvP? These are all the questions you're going to get. And what if you beat a raid faster than somebody that's been playing the game longer? Why not take that risk and take that chance to see? And if you enjoy it, I'm going to enjoy it. I say stream it if you like the genre. If you love pretty games and you love being in control and feeling the difference between something that should have been on PC and finally getting it like a present on Christmas, go for it. Because I was highly impressed once I touched PC, and it blew my mind. I didn't know I was going to do it. I touched the controller and moved the mouse. That's all I needed. It was done.
So
it was done.
So for you, this is a stream for sure.
This is a stream, 100%. Yep.
I'm gonna say for me it's a skip. I think that if you have played Destiny, I won't disagree. The Destiny community is very welcoming. But Destiny 2 is so hot, it's so saturated right now. If you haven't built your community on Destiny beforehand, and you're jumping from it from, any other game, especially one like if it's kind of random, I just don't think it's worth playing right now. It's, for me personally, it's something that I struggle to make fun, because it's very grindy. So you're just gonna have to find ways to keep talking through it and make it interesting. I personally, this grindy games are for me. I get bored, and if you're not having fun, don't push it, because your audience is gonna be able to tell. If like, you can't fake it. You cannot fake having fun. So I think this is a pass. Like I said, unless you've played Destiny in the past.
My counter to that is for between me and Loco is the fact that my community was built off of MMOs.
Yeah.
From the beginning, and we went variety. And variety, we once MMOs died, we took a hit, because once MMOs are gone, there's no point in people watching you. So I had to become a variety streamer, and I think that when I streamed it was 107,000 people watching it, which means there's a lot of big streamers streaming it. And I don't know what line of it was on. I didn't check it. I just know my views were close to 200 views on a game that I've never touched. And I was happy with that. But that's mostly because my regulars were there and they were having fun, because a lot of them played the game and they were like, oh my God, you're playing it. And they already know what a grind feels like. So yeah, that's exactly. And I agree with Loco on her side of things, to where she's more of a strategist when it comes to video games, or a story player. And she likes to get them done from start to finish without, having to spend more hours than need be on it. I can completely understand if you're that type of streamer.
I actually
Andy,
watched
what do you
Loco
think?
play Dark Souls 2, and then she got me replaying Dark Souls. It was actually annoying.
Dude, her Dark Souls playthroughs
I brought
are
a lot
funny.
of pain onto people that try to get back into Dark Souls. And they're like,
she was just
dang
doing it, and I was just like watching how you took on particular bosses, and sure enough, I was like, God damn, I want to play again. I hate you. Bye.
Did you see her? You see her chew her cord to her controller?
No, did I miss that? Oh my God.
Yeah, you missed it. She was chewing it. She was, I mean, she was going primal.
Well, I don't.
You've almost got that sound down.
I have the sound. I have the sound in my stream. It's crazy.
I don't have a counter to your points of Destiny. It's actually more or less a question that I don't think we'll cover today, but I think I just want to lightly touch on it. In the vein of being able to choose the right title like Destiny, knowing that you are 3 weeks away, 3 weeks away from the season of which we haven't had a launch here like this in some time, where we're guaranteed some pretty solid games across all genres, from fighting to racing to another MMO to another RPG. We've got it all. We got it all this year. You guys have to make some tough decisions. And I think if I do the math right, you have 60 games that will likely hold a Metacritic score of over 80 to 85. Don't ask me why I know that. This is what I'm predicting. So if you know that from this is the season, how do you make that decision about what to play now, since you've got to actually make those decisions now? How do you do that? Because you're just, Luca, you made your decision about Destiny. DJ, you made your decision about Destiny. Someone else is likely making that same decision when Destiny comes to PC.
Yeah.
It's something to think about. And again, I don't want to take up too much time on it.
No. This is a great question.
That's a good question.
It's something to think about. Like, all right, my frame of mind goes, I'm just going to flip a coin.
I think me and Loka are laughing at this because if I have to give credit to both of us, it's preparation. Because boy, we worry about games. Like we have this nice calendar that Loco and one of her mods put together, and we write down. And Loco is the document queen. If I cough sideways, it's probably want to document what day, what time. But that's great because she keeps us together because I'd forget. And what was it? It's October, right, Loco? October is the month that we're afraid of, right? When it comes to all the games, it's like all these games on one day.
There's three. There's what? Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed on the same day.
That's
all games I want to play. That's a tough day, and I still haven't made that choice.
Shadow of War. You're also in beta
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
You're also in beta season. You've got 4 betas happening with 2 weeks of each other.
October's gonna be beta.
I don't want to spoil anything, but there's things still unannounced that you're going to be like, what?
Yeah. Oh my god. Such a tease. But going back to your question, it's a lot comes down to what you're already playing, what your community is built off of. If you're an MMO streamer, you're gonna choose Destiny. It's a no-brainer. You're not gonna choose a shooter or something. But like if you play a lot of Mario games, you're gonna choose the Mario game, right? It also comes down to, I would say, like hype for a game and potential saturation. So Destiny on PC, you have a lot of big streamers that are, that either dipped already to the console or are waiting for PC. So it's only going to be even more hype when that comes out, more saturated. So if you couldn't break into it during the console, you're not, like, PC is only going to be worse. So just to stay away from that. I don't know what else, DJ, would you say?
I mean, it's a balance, right? So you got to be smart about what you do, and this comes with age of streaming. So when you first start streaming, you say, I don't care, I want to play it, I like it, I want to do it. And if people are going to watch me, they're going to watch me. That attitude is going to die real quick when you're playing it and your chat's dead. So what you want to do is you want to research how to position yourself, okay? So I have to do that. Yes, I'm confident that I can stream Destiny and I can become a lovable part of that community, but that community has people that's been streaming that game since day one and have not veered off of it. So obviously those are the people you're going to look for to do raids and be world first and all that stuff. I'm not doing it. I'm casually going to have fun with the game, do my little voices that I do, and probably move on. So with that, I have to position myself the correct way. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to be a more of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday Destiny streamer because I have more of the day to position myself behind a streamer that I know that's going to be like playing it and there's going to be a drop-off point. I won't be streaming it during the daytime because that's when everybody's streaming it. So at night, when they start dropping off, I'll position myself behind a streamer that I know their community is similar to mine and people are going to look for me on that. And then I'll probably dominate on it. And if I don't, I'll have backup plans. So the best thing I can tell you to do is have 3 games in your inventory that you know you can stream and do well when you're ready to take a risk. And be willing to switch. Don't start the game in the first 30 minutes, say, oh my God, I don't have nobody in my chat and I'm done. No, wait a couple hours. If you're enjoying the game, go with it for that day. And then look at your statistics. Or if you're watching your statistics and you notice, man, I'm normally getting 300 people on my channel. I only have 170 right now. I'm playing Destiny and I'm enjoying it, but not really enjoying it as much. I'll be enjoying it more if my chat was more active. Then get on another game. Nintendo is an open book right now, right? Like, there's certain people dabbling in Nintendo, but there's no dedicated Nintendoers. So I'm looking to dabble in this Nintendo land because I'm like, oh, this door is open. Mario Odyssey is something I could pick up and play casually and drop in and out of and still build a good audience for. So I can
name some folks who during the Monster Hunter through new 3DS phase, when some of those capture units were pushing out, they did very well with Nintendo, including Mario Maker. Now with the Switch, which Potential for mobile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are not using the Switch to its full advantage. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I see it as something that there's people who can dominate in the Nintendo world if you're the right Nintendo content creator.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
I would agree with that. Mario Rabbids came out, fantastic game, but it was pretty open on the listing. It wasn't too saturated. It was a ton of fun. There's still a lot of interested viewers as well. So I agree. Like Switch games are streamed
Underrated
right now.
Yeah,
I guess
very underrated.
Like solid games, but yeah, not too many people streaming them.
Yeah, like Splatoon is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like I love watching Splatoon, and I love playing it even more. But a good Splatoon player will blow your mind, especially if you play the game and they play with motion controls. Like if you have in your caption playing with motion controls will teach you how to play with motion controls. I'm in there. I don't care if you got 5 viewers. I want to learn how to play with motion controls. And it's funny, you'd be surprised at how many people that Twitch puts up on their wall that has like 10 or 15 viewers, but they're doing something rad, like teaching something or doing something out of the box. And that's how those people get the make or break spots, because all it takes is one Twitch stats to be like, hey, you need to check out this stream. This guy is showing people how to play with motion controls, or he's playing Overwatch with a frying pan. And people are going to be like, what? And they're going to go watch. And that's how people get their breaks. That's a way to do it, you know? But yeah, it's all about positioning, guys. Watch your analytics. Don't let the numbers consume you. And locals probably gonna laugh at me because I let the numbers consume me a good bit sometimes. But I don't let it do it during stream. It does it to me after stream. And numbers are important. I'm not gonna say they aren't. But during stream, just look at it like you're playing and having fun and hanging out with your friends. And if you're enjoying yourself, keep streaming it. If not, move on. Do not force it. Local gave great advice. Anyway.
So our next game on the list is
Yes.
I think it is the new Dishonored game, Death of the Outsider. Just came
Yeah.
out 3 days ago, and I personally got a chance to play it for the first time today, and it seems like good old Dishonored. For those of you that are confused about what this is, it's not a DLC. It's actually a standalone game. Takes place after the events of Dishonored 2, and stars Billy Lurk, who was the captain of the what's it called? It was like a steamboat or something, and it's played by Rosario Dawson. It's got actually a couple of good, really notable actors and actresses in it. And it's a standalone game, just came out. It's, I believe, $40 on PC and console. But yeah, it feels good, like good old Dishonored to me so far. I've only played for like 4 hours, but
how'd you like it? I mean, were you having a good time with it, or?
Yeah, no, I'm like excited to play more. It's got this like I said, stealth aspects. You got powers. Story so far, like I said, I'm so early into it. I'm not really sure what is happening, but it's been fun. It's been fun. Are you gonna check it out, DJ?
I'm gonna skip it. There's probably something I'm gonna check out offline. I do have the game. I played Dishonored. I tried to stream Dishonored twice. Once I played it, didn't really get that many viewers because, you know, these games are hard to stream if you don't jump on them early, because the story doesn't change, right? Your choices. I mean, you can play the game like as a ghost or a killer, I believe, but
Spoilers.
the story. What was that?
Spoilers.
No. That's like from Dishonored 1.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. I was like, oops. But at the end of the day, if you don't jump on it early on and you don't get people, like a lot of people are going to watch bigger streamers that play it or, you know, and it's going to be like one of those experiences to where if there's not any choices to split up how you play it versus someone else, it's going to be hard to hold people's attention long. You might have people in your chat, but to me, a dead chat that's not involved with you is just as bad as having low numbers. So yeah, it'll be a skip for me. Probably play offline and get the enjoyment there, or I'll like hop into your stream local and enjoy you playing it because you're enjoying it. And in your chat, I think your chat is a little bit more involved in those type of games than mine. So, Andy, what about you, man?
So I already own it. I actually own Dishonored 2 on PC and Xbox, and I got the DLC on PC. However, with the move, I haven't had time to play anything. However, I am going to be playing both of these. Everyone's going to die. So I realized that I am all stealthed out.
Decision made.
I'm all stealth out. Like I'm very tired of a lot of stealth games. Like I'm not sure what game it was where I just lost it. It was Metal Gear. I watched Valheim. I watched Elwaheim play for 5 minutes. He goes stealth kill, and he would just run people over with the truck. And I'm like, he's having more fun than I am.
Yeah.
I'm done with stealth. Everyone dies. So I realized, I'm really good. I can be really good with some games. So I realized I'm going to play Dishonored in a way that, even though the ending's not going to be canon, let's have some real fun. Let's use the powers that I've been granted and just go ham. So I'm going to be playing that. And I was going to say, I think it's a stream. I know you said that you don't have a method of playing it differently. With Dishonored, the open air about how to take out your targets, I believe that there's an advantage to some streamers who might be talented at the game that maybe you could do, like in your stream title, the everyone dies runs. We're going to work on killing every single character in the game no matter what happens. Like you go after everybody, just everybody dies. That'd be very fun to watch. Either A, because you're really good at getting out of those situations, or B, because in my opinion, the no one dies runs are exciting to watch, but that's someone who's more patient and can do a lot of resets. But if you see someone who goes, no, everyone's going to die, I'm going to find unique ways to kill everyone. Like, for example, only environmental kill runs. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. As a Dark Souls fan, and I follow
Right.
all the
Dark Souls does that a good.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, we're gonna play Dishonored, but we're gonna play it my way. And that's something I'm thinking about. Yeah, no regrets run.
Yeah.
That way. I think that's a fun way to watch it. So if you're willing to stream it that way, that's something you should stream. Otherwise, skip it.
Yeah.
Good advice.
I will say it's a stream actually. I'm a fan of the series. The past two have been awesome. I like the flexibility between stealth and lethal because if you watch this video, I've already done both. I tend to try to go stealth, but it very rarely pans out, and I end up having to kill people. But I try. It's a nice challenge, but I lack some patience. So it's kind of like a mixed run for me. But I think the gameplay's a ton of fun. There's always a billion different paths to complete a mission, and it has like a open world vibe to it too. So, and to touch on the saturation aspect of it, it's actually really open on the listings. So if you, the same thing was with Dishonored 2 last year. If you check the Twitch listings, you'll see like, look at the first row of people that's playing the game. It's not that competitive for a new game. So, and you're gonna have eyes on it because it's a new game and fans of the series are gonna check it out. So it's actually really open in the listings. It's definitely worth an opportunity if it looks like a game that you'd enjoy.
There's something about these $40 model games that are, I feel like they're hinting towards the future of our industry. We've had 3 $40 titles that are AAA quality. Yeah, Hellblade, Uncharted, and now Dishonored.
Uncharted was fantastic.
Quality games. Yeah, it's just like we might be seeing a future shift of, hey, you know what? $40 is less of an investment. You get to watch someone play it. I feel like it's a good mix. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see us doing that. I'd like to see that more. I feel like more companies are going to take that risk because it is a risk. It's a weighed risk.
It's a big risk
of going that way. But you know what? It's a good bite of game. I mean, look, you said you played it twice already.
Which game?
Dishonored. You played it twice already?
I played the first one and the second one.
Okay,
because I haven't played them
didn't
twice.
know if you finished it. Okay, I didn't know if you've gone back and forth, but I feel like you can probably get a really great stream or 2 of them out of a game that you don't need to invest too much time into.
Yeah,
and still have fun. It's not bad.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and again, Dishonored has multiple usually I don't know about this one, but they usually have multiple different endings depending on your playstyle. So you can do an all lethal run, or you could do it then try an all stealth run.
Everyone dies.
So our last game is Divinity Original Sin 2. Recently came out as well. I haven't played it yet. I've only heard good things about it. It looks so good. I played it at PAX East, and it was amazing. And it only looks better now. DJ, you got a hand on it, right?
Yeah, that game, I'm gonna tell you, it's a risk taker game. Okay, Divinity 1 was one of those games where you had to be careful about streaming it because it had no voiceovers. You had to be highly entertaining. You had to do voices or whatever. You had to speak well. You had to be able to read. Half of us can't do that. So it was hard, and people just got bored with it. They were interested in the beginning, but they kind of fell off. They did everything absolutely right in this game. The game is fully voice acted. You have the chance to have a custom character if you're that type of person. If you like D&D, you can run your own campaign. You can. It's multiplayer. It's everything. It's drop in and drop out multiplayer at that. It's everything. I did a single player run because I didn't know how the multiplayer was, so I was like, I didn't want to have to wait for people. I love this game. Talking about replayability, this game has it. Every story character in this game you can replay. You can make all bunch of custom characters. There's tons of decisions. Like 4 is the least you have when it comes to decision. There's a decision with like 10 different things, and I was like literally sitting there rubbing my temples, like, oh my god, what do I do? And you could do a no regrets front, which we're gonna do from now on. I did it. I was like, no regrets, guys. I reversed it instantly when something happened. I was like, oh hell no. But man, it was. Yeah, and this you would love this, Loco, because this game is like XCOM, Baldur's Gate, RPG, all mixed in one, and the strategic stuff that you have to do to be able to beat an unbeatable thought in your mind that there's no way I can beat these people, and you beat them is satisfying. The way you beat them, the way you go about your builds, how you combo your teammates with your stuff, because everything combos and everything is friendly fire. So if you put fire now, you can burn up your allies. It's not like you just put fire underneath their feet. They can die. Or you can put poison in them. And there's some people that can take poison and heal themselves. And the story is, like, I can't believe this was a Kickstarter. I cannot believe it. Like the quality of games that are coming out, and I brought up Hellblade earlier, that started off as like indie games or just risk takers, and they're blowing away AAA titles left and right, makes me happy. This is in one of my top 10 Gottis or Game of the Years, or top 5, I should say. I don't really want to do a top 10. I love this game. Play it if you like RPGs, if you like a good story, if you like character customization, you like character range, replayability, multiplayer. It has it all. Play it. And the listing is great right now because it's not like 10, well, co-streams is that, but if he's not streaming it, it's like 1,000 here, but the hundreds are spread out. They're so spread. There's room for everybody, because the great thing about this game, you could bounce around and like into streamer to streamer to see what they're doing, and nothing's the same. It's so amazing. From the party members you have to how your attitude is, to like, I'm playing a Red Prince. So there's options to be a Red Prince where you're like this asshole and you're like, well, you're my slave and I'm a master and blah, blah. And I don't want to, literally says stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm not saying that. Like, can't do that. So like, I chose a different route, and I could talk on it forever. Love it. Stream it. Have fun with it. Yes.
Andy, what about you?
Look at my face right now. I'm like,
I'm going to keep this very, very brief and very simple, and it's a stream, and here's why. I got to play the version of Divinity with the voice acting originally. So here's how my play of Divinity Original Sin has been so far. My fiance comes home, and I've been playing the entire day. I have forgotten what time it is. And she's like, what game is this? And I was just like, it's called Divinity. She's like, well, tell me about it. Here's what I say. I have no idea what's going on. This guy just got murdered. I'm pretty sure his wife is cheating on him. I don't trust that guy whatsoever. I have to go get a couple things in the store right now. But if you give me like 5 minutes, if I can finish this mission, I'll go back. I'll be able to bring this cat back home. And then I can kind of see what goes on. That sentence is possible in this game.
Yes.
That's what. And she just looked at it. It was like I was playing Persona. She just looked at me like, cool. Let's have dinner. And that's exactly what it was like. That is the number one reason to play this game, just because that's your story. That's what it's like. It makes. I mean, I don't want to say it makes no sense, but it's just like, I'm sorry. What was your story? I mean, there is, I think, several 100,000 lines of dialogue in this game.
Yes, and voice acted.
And it's regionalized. Sorry, what is that? Is it regionalized? Is that the right word for it? No.
What do you mean? Oh, like, you could choose your language or whatever?
In other words, it's localization.
Localized. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely brilliant writing. Play it, and you know what? Doesn't matter when you play it. That's the one thing about this game.
Yes.
You can play that a year from now and still have a very strong audience. It's one of the biggest advantages of that game. So I say, stream it, and that's it. That's something you can say anytime for the next year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
the
agree
thing
with
that Andy said, and I'm not gonna talk much on it, but the exploration is insane and it's optional. And the fact that he found that, I probably would never see that in my playthrough. So that's a strong point. Loco,
Yeah.
what you feel on it?
To touch on what Andy said, this is going to be one of those games that is going to have an audience for a long time. It's same thing with the Fallout games, with the Mass Effect games. These are series that have a hardcore fan base, and it's always interesting to watch someone play it because it's always different, especially someone's first time playing. So I think if it's, again, a game that's right for you and your community, you should definitely play it. But be prepared because it's a very, very long game. And that can mean one of two things. If you've got the audience for it and you see your numbers are either staying the same or growing, or you feel good about it, then keep playing it. But you may not be able to finish this game like on stream because your community may get tired of it. And as much as it is about playing a game for fun, you do have to keep in mind if it's hurting you more than helping you. So just, be prepared to either like find yourself committing to it or, give it a try, see how it goes. And it's a very long game, so you may not finish it on stream.
Yeah, and that's okay if it's a long game because you could break this up into if you're smart, and I'm gonna give you guys a trick of mine, and I shouldn't because it's mine, but you could break your gameplay up into seasons. Season 1. From A to B. We're going to play up into a certain part. We're going to feel good about it. This is a great place to stop for season 1, guys. Be back for season 2. When you have a drought where there's nothing to play, bring the game back. Season 2, make sure you prepare for it and give an announcement. Season 2, we're going to focus on the Red Prince and his story or whatever, and go from here to there. And if you break that game up a series of course of a year, and you prepared your audience for that, you're golden. You're good. Because there's some people that are out there that have all the time in the world that can knock that game out in 2 weeks. 200 hours of it. Yep. And me, I don't. But we're going to have fun with it. Like this week, I said to my chat, we're going to play this every day for at least half the stream. We're going to get deep into it. And then when Destiny comes out in October or TwitchCon takes place, I'm gonna have like a little summary of what happened because there's a journal. I'm gonna have that journal typed out and place it in my own thread in Discord about the game to where they can revisit it, get the story down. But like in season 2, we'll come right back, just like a TV show, just like Game of Thrones takes breaks.
Yeah,
we can do the same thing here, baby.
We'll do well in smaller doses. What? I'm
sorry, I interrupted you. I was saying that's a really good idea for Discord.
Yeah, there you go. Bam. That's one of your DJ Tech live tricks, baby. I patented.
Insider secrets. So yeah, I think that's a street for all of us. Like if it's a game that fits you and you're interested in it, it's gonna be a solid game for a long time. So maybe if you're getting either 0 to 10 viewers and you have to scroll to find where you would be on the listings, always look on the listings and see where you would be. If you have to scroll down and you think you're just going to be super lost in there, then you can wait. Like this is, again, one of those games that you'll be able to wait on. But that is going to do it for our game streamer skip segments. We're going to take a short break, guys. Just running a little bit behind schedule, but we're gonna take a just really quick break, grab some water, go ahead and get yourself a drink as well. And when we come back, we will be talking about communicating with PR and developers. Andy's gonna give us some really, really helpful advice. We're gonna be answering your questions, so make sure to prepare those as well. So quick 3 to 5 minute break, guys, and we will be right back with the stream scene. And we're back. On to our next segments.
Okay.
Well,
welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around, and those that are coming into the stream, welcome to Stream Scene. I'm your host, DJ Tech Live, with the co-host Loco, and we're here with our special guest, Andy Lunique. If you haven't been here earlier, we're having a great, amazing show, lots of information. concerning streaming and the industry. And this next topic is something that you do not want to skip out on. Make sure you have your notebooks handy. It's about best ways to communicate with PR and devs, and it's something that is overlooked constantly in this business and something that is very not understood. Still to this day, there's still tricks and tips that you can learn, and it's an ever-growing way of communication, because communication, guys, doesn't stay stagnant. Andy, my man, give us some info on this. You're the expert.
Man, blowing me wide open. I feel like we can go in a lot of directions here. So I think I'm going to start at the ground floor, where, how do I say this? Oh my goodness! Now my peers are in the chat. I see.
Hi, peers.
Allow me to say this. Number one, the fact that you're reaching out to particular developers and companies to work with them in different ways means that you are looking for a transaction. Okay, let's just start right there. In other words, you are not just saying, hey, hook me up with a free game. That's not going to get you anywhere. Okay, you know that there is a hand washing hand situation when it comes to influencers, developers, and PR companies. There's coverage that people are looking for. They're looking for eyes. This is the world we live in. You need to understand that from the jump, primarily because you are asking for ways for your channel to grow, and they're asking for ways for their visibility and their titles to grow in player bases. Now, if you're going to be reaching out to particular companies, at the very baseline, number one, professionalism is key. And you need to essentially keep in mind that you are offering up your community. So you need to be able to communicate that first. You're then going to be offering up visibility and time with the title that they made. So you have to be able to communicate that. After that, you also have to be able to say, here is what I'm thinking about doing with your content. And then you actually have to deliver, and then finally let them know, or at least be able to prove some of those results. Now, however you decide to lay out or narrate that information, this is what's going into your communication from start to finish with anyone as small as an indie developer to someone as big as Xbox, okay? So this isn't, we're not talking about full sponsorships and getting money to play and go flying, all these things. This is the first baseline conversation that you have with someone saying, hey, I have amassed a certain following of players who enjoy me for X, Y reasons. Here's why I'd like to work with you. And that's exactly what you should be really using for your communication and how you lay that out. Now, I have lots of tips and executions about how to go about that, but I felt the need to really say that first and foremost, because you have to think about what you're doing. You're offering up your time, your services, and your community to play a game that someone else has made. And then in return, they're taking up their time and offering you their product to do the exact same thing. So that's exactly where I'm going to start with that discussion. And I'd like you guys to really throw questions at me rather than me going on a tangent, because I could be here for 3 straight hours just talking about it. But I wanted to keep that frame of mind in your head first before you go out and feel like you want to start communicating with PR companies, developers, and publishers.
So, I guess like trying to think of like the basics here. How far ahead should you be reaching out for a game, and how do you find the right contact? I think that's definitely one of the hardest things.
All right, so let's just start with how far in advance you should be asking to speak to someone. Number one, you don't always have to wait till the game is launching to reach out. There is more to content than just playing a game early, day one launch, day afterwards. There are a lot of ways to get involved with the developer before the game goes live. If it's a title that's a sequel to something else, you could probably invest in the community and say, hey, we're going to be playing this game. Let's do a series playthrough. Let's see how that goes. Or you could be someone very much into the art. And again, this advice is going to stem from YouTube creators as well as Twitch creators. I feel like both sides could really learn from one another about what it means. But there are people who are very well aware that they're going to be covering the game in the future. So they might make a starting video saying 5 things you may not know about Fallout, before it even gets down there. So now you've already shown an investment to a developer or a PR company saying, hey, you know what? You have an audience here. You obviously care about the product. It might make sense of how you get the opportunity to work with somebody else. You need to prove that you're worth your weight in salt. So then how long before you do so? I'd say, depending, again, and this is where I was going with this, depending on what you're asking of them, if you're going to ask them for art assets and just a conversation, you can reach out after that trailer goes live. Go for it. It's not going to hurt you at all to say, hey, that trailer looks awesome. I'm going to be doing a full series playthrough. Just want to let you know, if you could send me the website of where the assets are going to be, or if there's any kind of informational newsletter I can sign up for, boom, you've already had a very, very good interaction with someone that is already going to be bombarded with lots of other folks getting involved. You know, you've got press coming down the line. You know, there's lots of other folks that want to get involved with the game, but at least give them the opportunity to give you something to work with. From there, if you're going to be talking about beta access, early access to the title for YouTube content, or early access when certain broadcasters are allowed to play, or day one, double whammy here. I always say this, there's nothing wrong with sending an email too early. I really don't think so. At the very least, what happens is a lot of companies and firms who are kind of taking in inbound requests, they are essentially creating an entire list of how many people are bugging me for this game. How many people want to do so? What's our tactics look like? A lot of companies need to think very far in advance about how many press copies they're going to give, if any, far ahead of time. So you're in this weird kind of situation where, you know what? If I wait too late, they're not going to know that they need an extra copy here or there. I mean, honestly, some of the requests that I've gotten are in the high thousands. I'm talking 3,000 requests, and we filled them all. So you got to think about that. You want to get in that first loop. So my gut tells me 3 to 4 months ahead of launch, unless there's a pushback, even then 3 or 4 months ahead of launch is a good way to throw out that first line. Like, all right, let's test the waters. Let's see who's talking to me. You get the response and your, in your thumbs up. Good deal, okay? But keep in contact. There's no reason to kind of like, again, there's lots of people doing lots of things. There's a lot of hands involved in the pot, and there's also going to be different levels of access. There's a lot of exclusive access, but we're not going to get into that now. So I say 3 to 4 months is fair. And if you're kind of brand new to the bubble, I'd say 1 month is a fair amount of time to at least put your name in the hat. Okay? So I'd say 1 month before launch, you make your email, you say, hey, I want to play this game. Here's my community. Here's how I look. Here's what it's all about. Here's what's going to happen. Okay? So then all of a sudden, 2 things are going to happen. Either A, you're going to hear actually, no, I'm wrong. 3 things are going to happen. You will either A, hear absolutely nothing at all. B, you'll hear back and hear no. Or C, you'll be like, yeah, cool, we'll give it to you. Here's the day, or here's around the time codes are coming out. And you kind of have to wait. Because there's an embargo period in which people are giving time to play the game ahead of time, to hold to the point where the press feels comfortable talking about the game and the developers feel comfortable with the press talking about the game. There's always a team collective, and it's not because this ridiculousness of everyone saying they're trying to hold back this and yada yada. It's like, no, there's a million moving pieces, and giving everyone the same date makes a whole lot of sense to a developer or a PR company than being like, yeah, when you get the game, yeah, put the review out, whatever. That makes no sense. Everyone's trying to work on the same timeline. So that's why that period of you may not know what's going on yet is because they likely haven't finished their own plans yet. They're working on it. And they'll try good companies keep in contact with you, and many of them at least have a good window of time where is coming down the line. I've worked for several companies that give away early keys for games, and I've gone down to the day before, all the way up to 3 weeks before games come out. It all depends. So if you do get the no, don't be afraid to email them and say, okay, hey, listen, I didn't get a response back. We'd love some communication. Again, we won't have the opportunity to do so, but hey, you tried again, and don't waste too much time doing this, okay? Unless it's a game that you are absolutely obsessed over, like this is my jam, I don't play anything else, there's nothing you can do. If you hear the no, it's absolutely fair, just like a job interview. It's very fair to ask why. A good I would say somebody who's doing good at their job of working with a content creator, somebody who's working in the field as I am, should take a minute to just say, your views aren't quite where we need them to be. We do have, they'll say they have other priorities. They only have so many things they can do. They can only work with so many people. At least give you a small reason about what you need to improve. Some folks in agencies and some developers will give you a very, very detailed reason why. And you know what? That might be the most valuable insight you've ever had in your life, but at least a good company will take the time. Finally,
I think go Go ahead.
Oh no, you
I
should
just had a
interject. I'm talking too
quick
much.
thought on that. But before we go on, is if you get a response then they say no, I have 2 tips for you. One, if you end up buying the game and playing it, show them your content. Come back to them, be like, you know what, I really wanted to play this. I ended up getting it, loved it. My community loved it. Here's what I did. Show them your Twitch, a link to your Twitch VOD or YouTube VOD.
Exactly.
Number 2, if they say no, try to come back later on after launch, like, weeks or even months later. Be like, hey, I'm still interested in your game. At this point, they have this window for, where all the commotion is, where all these big streamers are coming at them, or where they want to focus their marketing. And then, like, if they're coming out with a DLC or something, they may, like, look to you again. So don't be afraid to come back later on. Am I wrong on that, Andy, or what do you think?
Not at all. No, you're not wrong whatsoever. Especially think about it. In some cases, there's one person doling out 2,000 to 3,000 codes with the document. Things get lost, things get missing. Some things happen, and you know what? It may not be a mistake, or it may not be a priority because some people have to actually order their keys. It's very, very, very worth coming back on a second go around, because the truth is, launch for somebody in a game launch, it's not just the day the game launches. It's the week before, it's 2 weeks before, it's the week after, it's the day after that. It doesn't really just launch and that's the end of it. There's so much going on. So it's worth having at least some respect, or at least some vision about what that other individual or those teams might be going through. And it is worth exploring again, saying, hey, by the way, I've been playing something else for a little while, but we would still love to explore your game. Because likely, and this is in most cases, I'd say about 90% of cases, the viewership of the particular title has already dropped down to something that can probably use another boost. Now you should take your time. You know what I mean? Now you can take your time to say, hey, good idea. I'm going to try this right now. Thank you for being so patient with us. They might hook you up. And I think that's a really, really good thing to think about. And Loco, you hit the nail on the head. It was just like, just, come back a little bit later. And you know what? If they invest in you and say, oh, there is a DLC coming out, and this one was hardcore with that community, we need to hit them first. They may not hit all the same people, but they know that you have a laser-focused kind of community for this thing. And I say that over and over again because they're watching your community. It's not just your viewership. They watch, are you going to be the person that tells people about the game who would play a game like this? Divinity Original Sin, as we were talking about, is not for everyone. So you want to give it to the right you want to give it to the right editorial pages, streamers, and YouTubers. Just like Halo Wars, just like ESO. You got to get it right.
Yeah.
So the last thing I just want to mention on that about when to reach out and what you do is to be very honest. If there's any streamers watching this, if there's any people, if there are folks who are working with influencers on the developer PR side, you have to be honest about it. You need to be very transparent about what it might take to get a code. I don't think you should be very hidden about these things. I mean, obviously we don't want to make it sound like it's a cool kids club, but it's at least worth saying, hey, this is what we're all about. This is what I stream. This is how much time I have to give to this, because it's a different story from a brand new streamer. But guys at your level, when you guys have, your time is a currency now. So if someone approaches you, let's say I email you and you don't have the time to play the game, or it doesn't quite work, you got to be straight with me on that.
Right.
Because I'm going to invest time in you now, and then you don't have the time to play the game, or it doesn't quite work, or you gave it 2 hours and then suddenly it just didn't work, and it's not your fault. God, no, it's not your fault. But again, we're depending on you to know your audience, and we're depending on you to know exactly what is worth, what's worth pursuing. So that's worth doing as well. So again, it depends on the size of the streamer, but just think about that. Your time is precious.
So, with what you said, if I get a request for a game, and when you put your email out there, which you should put your email on your Twitter, go to your Twitter right now. If your business
location.
email.
Just tell me what fucking city you live in.
Really?
Yes. Just put the city in the Twitter or somewhere where I know what city you live.
I keep taking mine out.
Sorry,
because I don't want people to find me.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
I mean, I like post like I think I post like East Coast.
Secret. I'm not going to say this. It's not going to compromise anybody. I'd probably say half the reason why most people aren't invited to events is because no one knows where you live.
That's true.
So if no one knows where you live, you don't have the ability. Oh, like there's people who I wasn't invited. They probably have no idea you live 10 blocks away from that particular arena, because they're looking and say, hey, we want people to come, but we know. I have maybe, I can, off the top of my head, I remember 15 different people emailed me, hey, who lives in this city? and I can give them a list because I have relationships. But is this like, yeah, there's 110 people who live close by that you could bring into this event, but you don't know that because you put
That's
Mordor
true.
on your Twitter location. You
Your
know?
closet.
Well, it is a double-edged sword though, because
yeah,
streamers
it's
are
scary.
like protective of their personal information. Where you're Andy Lunique, I'm Loco, like, and that's usually what
Yeah.
I go by in most cases.
I'm
So
aware.
it really
Yeah.
depends on the person for that. I mean, like, I'm more than open being like, I'm on the East Coast, but like that's like
it.
the extent of what I'll give.
And I
Like,
do think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair to say. You put a state or just a hemisphere.
A state is
Yeah,
fine.
a state
for me
is
anyway.
fine. You don't need to say what city
Yeah.
it is. I know how. I actually very well aware. You have a good point. I'm well aware of how particular some people, especially in the celebrity tier, who I do work with those folks as well. It's just kind of like, yeah, you need to be careful what state you say you're in, because people start to break it down, and you know how internet sleuths are. You know what I mean? Like, you see what you had for dinner. Oh, they're in California and they had brunch this day, and you know what they did? I know,
that statue.
Like, it's actually really creepy. You'd be surprised. So there is a level of security, but just keep in mind that again, if you are running a business, please try to find a way to make it easy for people to identify where you're at. And that would really help out a lot of the times where you have that FOMO of everyone's at this event right now. I'm not here.
That's me all day. I'm not gonna lie. I hit Andy up all the time. I'm like, yo, man, why you didn't tell me about this launch party? He was like, are you in California? I'm like, no. Are you in Seattle? No. All right, then. Oh, yeah, okay.
So
But
if you start like getting reached out to for games that you don't want to play, and like what I was saying is, like, when your emails on your Twitter, you will start getting signed up for lists and emails of billions, it feels like, of indie games, but some great opportunities as well. It's definitely worth getting everything, and there's some indie games that like you might want to play too. So let's say like you want to turn down a key, like, what's the best way to go about it? A, not say anything. B, say no. Or like, I guess, like, should you explain why? Or like, what's etiquette for that?
Let me just preface this by saying some companies need to learn how to step back. Stop it. Okay, I can't imagine how many emails that some of you get on a daily basis offering money for keys. There's probably 15, 20 keys in one of your inboxes right now. Okay?
Oh yeah, easily.
I got
Too many.
like, oh my god,
Stop
yeah.
it. Like, this is me talking to my side of the fence. Cut that crap out. I know there is a bit of a chance saying, hey, maybe if we just put it out there, they'll pick it up. But I don't think it's helping anyone. Spam is spam. It doesn't matter.
I mean, the problem is a lot of it's impersonal too. It's not like, hey, Loco. It's like, hey, streamer, I watched your stream. It was great. You would be perfect for this mobile game.
Man vs. Game just tweeted it out saying, hey, Man vs. Game. It's just like his name's on the website. Like it's like, and again, I can't blame him for having little interest in someone who doesn't have interest in him. And he's somebody who's approached every single fucking day. Sorry, excuse my language. I apologize. Like, it's something that is, you have to be inherent about how you build relationships. And if you're going to take the time to legitimately build a relationship with content creators, I feel like if you're on my side of the fence, your time is better spent building a relationship with 20 strong creators who might just be starting off than just going for all the big dogs. There's ways to approach all the big dogs, and we can talk about that some other day. There's a way to go about it. But if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. So just to answer the question about how to turn down a key, Loco, you've already kind of mentioned it. Just say, hey, thank you for the opportunity. This game is not for me, or this is not my community, or I don't have the time. Be specific about the reason, because you might have a game that you're legit about. Like, oh, hey, I really like that game, but there's like 3 other promotions that I have right now, back to back to back. I can't do this till then. Fair answer.
So it's okay. It's okay to say that. Like, be like,
Yeah, I do that. I do it all the time.
Like, oh, I've got games I'd rather play, like, on top.
No, it's not like that. I literally, like, I had a game come up that I was kind of interested in, but it's like in development, MMO, sandbox. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm like really sick of going through that battle with that type of genre. Right? It's gonna be a great game. But I said, right now is a time where a lot of games are releasing, and my chat is looking forward to that's already been, introduced to the channel. We've been prepping for it for a long time. I'm not saying no to it, but right now I probably won't have the time. Maybe we can talk at a later date. That's how I leave it. It's open-ended. It's not like a straight up no. But what I throw in there as like the icing on the cake, as I say, but I can probably introduce you to somebody that will be perfect for it if you're looking for extra content creators. Because at that point, I'm helping them still, and I'm still building that relationship and keeping that rapport.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I have to admit, like I'm pretty bad at responding to emails. Even when I get a key, I've gotten this bad habit of not saying thank you, and it's because I have this mindset that they're so busy, like with all these emails. I don't want to just say reply thank you. Like I just feel like I'm like annoying them more than I'm
we
doing
talked about
anything.
that.
So
the littlest thing goes a mile, even if it's a simple thank you.
I gotta say this. Here's a good way to frame this thinking, okay? And I feel like once you hear this, you'll probably rethink what it's like, at least giving them either A, a link, or B, a heads up about what happened, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You are streamers, you are not YouTubers. So there are very few ways for us to be able to detect whether or not you actually played the game, where you had the opportunity. Not everyone's going to sit there and watch every single stream. I used to do that. It was pretty bad. But, and now everyone has the time to do that, okay? Yeah. Imagine sending out over 1,000 keys, well aware that only 15% of the players that actually got those keys might cover it. Mm-hmm. Now imagine somebody who's creating a report saying, here's all the keys that I sent out, boss. Here's all the coverage we got back. Wouldn't it be nice to have your face or your content that was kind of like, hey, you know what? They did a really good job with this one. Yes. It helps you out more than you think, because now it was an investment there. Oh, that was cool. They really enjoyed this. It was a good stream. Maybe there's something you did that they kind of enjoyed. And now you just built that much more relationship saying, hey, I got the chance to play. Here's the VOD for the stream. Mm-hmm. People really liked it, or people really didn't love these certain things. Anybody who's done that in my entire career, from Sandbox Strategies to Microsoft to working here, even people who let me know here's what happened, go 10 times further in my book. And I know there's other people likely industry who are watching this probably say, yep, that's all I needed, thank you. Now we can talk about something else going on. I got this other side piece coming up, here you go.
Absolutely. The funny thing, Andy, man, you're like in my head, because I was just me and Loco have meetings frequently about how to better situations for us, our stream team, and even like being able to give advice for peers. And the missed opportunities on sending in your VODs or sending in your coverage, even if it's like a 5-minute, 10-minute clip, like that goes so far for them, because they're getting hammered, I'm pretty sure, by their bosses saying, hey, do we have any coverage that we could show? Hey, who was it that you said that you were really excited to have them cover the game? Did we have anything from them so we could show this other company we're working with? We're on a deadline. That type of stuff. And just to be able to open your, I can imagine, because I'm not there, and I know we have some industry people in the chat, I've seen them, friends of ours, opening your mailbox and be able to just see that and not have to hound somebody for it, I'm pretty sure is a good feeling. So if you want to build rapport and you were that really right there on the edge person that they just gave a key to because they had one extra one sitting there, that's a good way to get your name on top of the list. Because even if, let's say, me versus a 60-person streamer, I forgot to turn in my VOD or I didn't do it and you did, they're going to come after you next faster than they come after me, because they're like, we know this guy's going to deliver or this girl's going to deliver.
And we're not saying like, have your hands in your lap and be like, could you give me a link to the page? But you have to think about it. This is likely 1 to 2 at maximum. And I mean, really, even at the best companies, at the biggest companies, at maximum 3 people who are looking through thousands of videos and thousands of pieces of coverage. Okay, and if you're someone who communicates, they communicate back with you. I've put some of my old teams through hell trying to find coverage, and they're sitting there combing through things. There's nothing that's auto hitting it, but there's something good about that coverage. Just take a minute. I always tell people, if you can, and I know this is taboo, but if you can take a half hour out of your stream to do some business development, even if it's once a week, worth it.
And Andy, how do you feel about this? And I've even told Loco about this and many of my friends. Let's say you don't have the time. Okay, let's say you had the time, you thought you had it, but something came up. Everything happens. And for me, I work a full-time job along with stream full-time, along with hosting. So my time is very limited. So the next best thing that I do is when I announce the game I'm streaming, because we all do, right? We announce when we're going live on Twitter, I tag the community manager, I tag the developer, I tag the studios with it, with either a picture of me in the background that I'm playing the game, or a picture of a ad showing the game with the date that is launched or whatever. because every little bit counts, right? Like that way they can be like, oh, he's streaming the game. Let's go check him out for like 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. We can check him out, see how well he's doing, see how the audience, and that could be just as good, right? Like if you don't have time or whatever.
I'm 100% with that. And again, you may not always get a bite. It all depends on who it is, but it does help out in a lot of sense for their reporting. And it does help out saying, you know what, that was actually a really good engagement that we saw with this particular person. And we noticed that people are tagging our Twitter a little bit more. We're seeing more engagement because of these people who are playing this game live.
Yeah.
You know, as you said you got to figure out whether or not you have time. And I present this question to you. When it comes to business development, you are now creating relationships to become not only a full-time streamer, but somebody who's going to be a full-time content creator, a personality entertainer. If you don't take the time to really build what you're all about, how important is this career to you? There's never going to be a time where I'm not going to constantly I'm never gonna stop grilling people about why you're here. What are you doing here? Because I know that it's a dog pile. It is person against person. There's a lot going on, and if you're somebody who's really laid back and just gets the opportunity to play when they want, cool. But there's somebody else who needs it just a little bit more. There's a difference between you two.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that the developer or the PR person is going to pick the difference. It's up to you at that point. That's internal thinking. It's just like, hey, I got to do this. I need this extra 30 minutes to reach out. And you know what? If you're reaching out and not getting an answer back, that's on me. That is on me for not doing my job, and it's hard enough. And I really don't like wasting any content creator's time because, as I've said to a lot of people, the currency is time. It's not how many subs you have. It's not how many followers you have. It's where you spent your time is the highest, most valued currency we're dealing with in today's day and age. And that's one thing that all of you, whether you're on my side or a streamer side, that's what you got to think about.
That's true. And obviously I care a lot about this business and stuff, but I look at it as this, and I didn't really disclose this. If it's a company like, and this is gonna, if it's a company that I didn't build a huge relationship already with, then yeah, I would take that. I would have to take away from my stream or take away from my personal time, which is only an hour, and start to develop some aids to help me along to where they are saying, okay, he's very serious about this, let's do this. But if it's a company, let's Tryon, for instance, okay, I've spent years with Tryon, and I've been through multiple community managers. The developers know me, the president, a lot of people know who I am, and they ask for content and they know I'll say yes, but I tell them, look, my time is very valuable. This is what I'm going to do for you. I let them know right off the bat. I can't really create a VOD or anything or edit. Well, there's always going to be a VOD, but I really can't do an edited scene maybe until later, or maybe I can't promise that. But I will tag you in it. If you want to come by and give advice to people or be in the chat or be on Discord with me while I'm streaming, that's available. And or I will make sure you at least get a link to the VOD. I always send links to the VODs though. Like that's just something I do. That takes 5 seconds, right? Like
it's something that I've started to do. It's super smart. Like if you get a key, even if you don't get a key and you find a CM, send them a link to the VOD. Be like, this. If you can make a highlight reel, that's even better. If you have clips are so great. Have your mods encourage your community to make clips of your stream. They're just highlights right off the bat that you can just send. And tweet them too, because your community will retweet them. They're 30-second highlights, and it's a great way to promote their content. Tag them in it, be like, hey Bethesda, like this is what I did in Dishonored, this hilarious kill, like look at it. And I mean, you might get eyes on it. It doesn't hurt.
One last
go ahead.
I know we're burning on time. One really fast thing that I think I'll try to make another video about in the future. Emailing folks does take time, and the copy paste, here's my viewers, I want to play your game, blah, 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 may not be the best way to go. I think if you use this method of creating like a marketing deck, which essentially it's a PowerPoint presentation with all of your stream highlights, like I have this many viewers, this many subs, it's all on a very, very nice presentation that they just slide right through. It's a PDF, pop, like 3-4 slides about who you are. And then rather than having to retype all that information about who you are, the deck now goes, bop, there it is. Hey there, this is my channel. Here's my social media. Here's why I want to play my game. You've now spent all that time on that sentence or that paragraph about who you are. The deck does the rest of the talking for you. Done. Because there's somebody who has maybe 5 to 6 minutes to look through who you are. And if you make it easy for them to find out everything about it, guess what? You just made your reason to work with a lot easier. Done. I will work on the deck later, but yeah, that's the only thing.
I have one little tip to give people, and it's an old school method we used to use before all this became a thing, because PR contacting from us to them used to be like a big barrier in between us, so that you have to catch their attention. And the way we should do it, we should do for MMOs, and it works with any game really, is Twitch normally releases the game's title to Twitch a little bit earlier, sometimes a month, sometimes weeks earlier than the game releases or anybody has access to it. It's okay to stream under the game and put in your title covering or if you're doing trailer coverage, or you're breaking down the game, or you're giving insight about the game earlier than anybody else is touching it, because that gives you a foothold to build that community on it. They'll be like, hey, we're gonna go check out DJ Tech Live because he broke down this game in the trailer for us. We think he's probably going to know a little bit more about this game. We'll go check him out. Oh, I remember that guy. He created a whole video on these characters. Let's say if it's a MOBA, and 5 characters coming out, and you've seen like gameplay in Korea and stuff, and you were sitting there breaking down the strategies and stuff. That's a way to get ahead of the game and prepare early and create content before the content drops. And you can push that towards the developer. As you're saying, it kind of reminded me of that.
Send it to them. Show them you've done your research and you've already started creating content for them before you even got in the game.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So hopefully that was helpful. That was a rant and a half, but...
So I know like a lot of there's a lot of streamers that are probably watching that get maybe 10 viewers, and they've been streaming for a while, and they want to ask for keys, but they don't really know where the line is. Like, is it worth trying for them? Should they limit who they reach out to? And what are some things that can make them stand out besides, despite having a lower viewer count or lower statistics?
So I've learned, I've had the chance to do some very strong experiments. I've given brand new keys of AAA titles to streamers with the lowest viewership, okay, throughout my career. And I've noticed that sometimes, it depends on the creator, it really does. Some people kill it. They're just like, day one, I killed it. They have embargo coverage that's comparable to some of the biggest influencers in the industry. Mm-hmm. Some of them have the exact same coverage, and they don't cash in. And this is on YouTube and Twitch. You have to ask yourself whether or not you having this game key whatsoever, whether it's day one, early, or even afterwards, does it really make a difference for your audience or not at that stage? Because at this time, you don't know what you're capable of. You also aren't aware of not just how many people, what kind of people are going to be in your chat. You don't really know what works so far. So how are you able to convince me that having this game at this moment, no matter what it is going to really help you pull it off? And that's the one thing that you would struggle with someone looking at a 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 viewer streamer, where it's just like, how do I know that you're really in this to win this? Right. And let's just say if I only had 300 keys, there's only so much pie to go around. So that's something to think about before you even start making those emails and those messages. Of course, it's always good to start with indie, because indie has a lot to invest in, and all coverage is strong coverage for them, but they should also be doing the same amount of research you should do for someone that you do for 2,000 viewers, someone you should do for 2 viewers. They should take the time and go, what you're talking about. I've seen some of your other streams, even though there's no one in those particular streams, but I've seen what you're about and I enjoy you. And me literally coming from a lifetime, not right now, 4 years now, watching people with almost no viewers be partnered and featured in front page. I'm friends with some people who I met them at, I think, 100 subscribers on YouTube, and now they're hitting over 1 million. I've watched that growth, and some of them had it and some of them just didn't. And that's a reality that you have to face.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, that's a really good point. And me and Luca were kind of having this talk at some point. And the funny thing is like, I get approached, like some people say, how do you get sponsored by so many people? Or how do you get so many game keys, any game you want? And I'm just like, the funny thing is, I'll give you guys this tip. You never know who's in your channel. You never know, unless you're just constantly got your list up, and then you still might not know because you don't know the screen name. So your content speaks volumes, and it may or may not sometimes, but a lot of the time your content can really help you push along and get you noticed by certain developers. Because if a developer is having a good time in your stream, because they're just normal people at the end of the day too, that wants to sit down and enjoy a stream, and they see it and they're like, you got to see this guy, he's enjoying our game, and this is why we do what we do. Like, and it's a beautiful thing to see people with only 100 viewers or lower getting opportunities that bigger streamers get, because they're actually sitting there enjoying the game, enjoying the content, putting in the work, So
No, that's a
I'm
really good
so
point.
happy to hear. Mm-hmm.
Like the number of times that I've just been streaming a game and then someone's like, "Hey, I'm a dev for this game. Like, glad to see you enjoying it. I've got some keys to give away." Like, it's happened so many times. Like, devs love to come through and watch who's playing. So just keep that in mind. And it's not just devs. It's people like companies looking to do sponsorship deals, stuff like that. So always keep that in your mind. And with that, we're going to move into a brief Q&A segment. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask Andy, this is your golden opportunity. So feel free to post your questions in chat. And Bryce was asking,
drop, like, mad keys.
What was that?
Remember the days where I used to drop like hundreds of keys in your chat?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
those days. Right in the channel. Just
Yep. Until those bots started. It's like, oh, we have to stop that.
Yeah.
But sorry, I think Bryce. I'm gonna type this out into Twitter later. But Bryce asked me to do a breakdown of what's in a deck. Really, really high level stuff here. But I'll go with. I'll answer that question next. Number 1, intro deck about who you are, channel name, and that's number 1, like title page. Number 2, follower count, concurrent viewership, time on Twitch, slide, and all the basic stuff, the nitty gritty. Slide 3, highlights of your career. You did a stream with EA, and you were over at E3. You got the chance to do a St. Jude event. You had this many viewers. You stream with these folks. What are you all about? You can even mix that into another slide that says, here's the games I play. If you're a single title streamer, you can talk about all the different things you've had. Next one, links, communication, contact, done. That's it. You don't need much more than that. If you can break it all down, you can make that yours. Just make sure you're branding your information and what you're all about. 4 or 5 slides to make someone understand, I get who you are in these 5 slides. I know exactly what viewership you have, what kind of audience you have. Bam.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really helpful, because I don't have that. I need to do that. I need to get on that.
I would say, listen, I there's some people who look at me and they go, why would I do that? And the people who have been using them it's one after another after another. And I'd actually never disclose who those people are. I think it's kind of against their own personal security and privacy. But man, they've killed it, and they're just like, yep, this is a whole lot easier, and I can hit a lot more people if I need to, if I'm a variety streamer, or I just feel a little bit more contingent on my professionalism rather than having to depend on the email. You know what I mean? You can lose a lot in email. The second question was using LinkedIn as a resource. That's fam photo. Holy crap, it's a good idea. LinkedIn as a resource to kind of put your stream out there. It's a career page. No. If you change the way it looks, it does give you some. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if it'll work, but you got to admit, remember, your career and your entire bio is on LinkedIn. So if you set it up in a different way for professionalism, let's just say you might be. Let's just say you might be somebody who might be looking for a career in the future. Remember, they hire models and hosts on it. It's a bad idea.
I mean, companies built or
it's definitely not a bad
streams
idea.
too. Like Alienware has a Twitch channel. A lot of companies do, and they're going to be looking for streamers, and as that grows, probably paid opportunities to stream on their channel. So that's definitely a very interesting idea. I've not used LinkedIn since.
I haven't used it since Facebook was new.
Since LinkedIn was hacked like 5 times.
Yeah.
You see what happened was
yeah. So what was it? Euler Uprising. I think that question's already been answered. About Andy and his background. I don't know about you mean about money wise. But
I work for Discord. I'm the senior account manager here, so I'm just here on my own accord, just trying to help the people that I work with every single day. So I'm really here just saying, hey, if I have something to say and it's going to how to say this. If it's going to help people, I don't care if it's somebody who's starting tomorrow morning or if someone I've been working with you guys for several years. I'm here.
Cool. Next question is, what are your feelings on PR websites? And if you need a breakdown, that's like Terminals.io, Evolve, these websites that provide you with keys and stuff based off of your audience and so on and so forth.
Now, struggling with those. They're growing. It's kind of like the next step. I essentially see them as almost like an agency, a modeling agency type of area where you can just get everyone kind of sorted. Not quite where they should be right now, but I tell you, for people who have to do massive hauls of codes because they need to get real big coverage, I heard it's a lifesaver. I don't have enough information to give something really intelligent about what I see. However, if you do have the opportunity to sign up, how do I say, as a non-streamer, someone who can sign up and say, hey, you know what, this works out for me, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think you take a look at that one. If you're a creator who get the chance to kind of do something else, and it's, maybe giving them a shot, it's not a bad thing to take a look at. Sorry, I'm
posting questions in the Discord.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, I'm trying to them.
It is, would it be a faux pas to request a key from someone? Then if you turn down for one, just say, I really want to get the game right now, so I'll just buy it. Okay, so, DJ touched upon this earlier, and so did Loco, actually, even better. It's not, if you hear no and say, hey, I'm going to buy this and cover it anyway, I feel like it's going the extra mile. No one expects you to buy every single brand new game a year just to make sure your channel is growing. That's completely unrealistic, which is why you've got to choose the right games. There's nothing wrong. I just be very wise about how you communicate the fact that no hard feelings. I didn't have the opportunity to get a key from you, but I did buy it. Here's the coverage. You send it to them. You know what I mean? It'll be a little bit later, but that's what you should do.
Yeah, I don't think that it's like a bad thing if you end up buying their game. Like, especially if you follow up, like, be like, hey, I bought it anyways. It was awesome.
Yes. Another question, as a non-streamer but content creator, it is in the company's interest to also provide artwork assets, even early game key to a person that's not streaming, but enhancing the stream experience of a big streamer. I have never got the chance to talk about this, but mods, you have some real power. If you have the ability to get some of the art assets, which are killer, if you go to, the Xbox Wire, there's tons of art assets that not enough people are using, and it drives me out of my mind. Creating good artwork, good thumbnails, good GIFs that you can use for your particular streamer because everything's looking a little bit better and you're doing some work, even if that's, portfolio building work for you later, that's awesome. How does one do one for, how does one do one for streamers that doesn't put your personal info out there? I believe, is that related to a deck, that question?
I think it's like LinkedIn, I would assume. Making a LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, your personal information isn't necessary. You can make, a business email, you can make business contacts. You can set that up to the point where you're still protected. Ms. Kylie asked, how should partners who have 100 plus viewership go about emailing a company to promote a game or get early access keys? You can get overwhelming content big companies. Ms. Kylie, it's cool. I might have you go back earlier into the VOD to check it out because I gave a really long-winded answer and then Loco added to it and DJ added to that as well. I would say that number one, the deck that I believe we might have spoken about before is super helpful. However, I know the hardest part for people at your level is actually finding who the hell to talk to, which I wish I can coach some of some of the people who are working in that. It's like finding who to talk to is difficult. I have just learned that not only the company website as well as the PR agencies that are involved, getting your information out to a lot of folks and maybe just asking around. I have people to this day asking me, who do I talk to for this game? Who do I talk to for this game? It's bop, bop, bop. But just be open on Twitter. Like I've seen people go, hey, who do I contact about this game? And if you tag them and they go, hey, let me tell you, once a day, there'll be somebody in my inbox from the community management team going, hey, they got a streamer here. What do you want to do with that one? Boom, and I get them. That's it.
I have a quick little advice. If you're feeling alone and you can't reach out to anybody, what I do is I go on Twitter when I'm bored or there's nothing to do, and anyway, when I'm bored and there are like 5 minutes, I type in CM for Ubisoft or CM for Assassin's Creed, and more than likely, if they're active, their name's gonna pop up. I follow them, and then I'll reach out to them and say, hey, I would love to speak with you for a streaming opportunity if you have the time. And more so not, they're gonna DM you and follow you back. And boom, now you got a connection. Then it's up to you to dominate, Miss Kylie. So it's a really easy way to get there. And if you're playing a game, tag them, even if you couldn't get in touch with them, because they're gonna eventually look for you.
You know, honestly, I have to do the same thing when I want to work with particular creators. Because as I've said before, a lot of you are really goddamn hard to find. But I've had to do the same thing where I have to go, hey, just letting you know, I have a business opportunity for you. I just want to talk to you. I know you get approached a lot. I try to be very respectful of the people who I'm tweeting, because it's like there's enough people bothering you as it is. But sometimes I don't have a business contact or a business mail, and I give them a poke. It's worth it. I have people confirm who I am on Twitter as well. If you see my name, if you see me in your inbox, I make sure you go look at me on Twitter to follow me to make sure I am who I say I am. There's a lot of bad scammers, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a right and wrong way to approach someone or a company at an event so that you can possibly work with them? Loco, you take that one.
Is there a right or wrong way to approach someone or a company at an event so that you can possibly work with them?
There's definitely a time.
Yes. Wait, what?
There's definitely a time when you should talk business and you should not talk business.
I would say, like, especially at an event, be genuine. Like, there's a lot of people that will go, they have someone in mind they want to talk to, and they go right to business. My best interactions with people have been after the convention at parties. Parties are a huge networking opportunity, but it's all, like, just, it feels super natural because you're not, in the con setting, and you get to,
they're more willing to talk to you.
Yeah, like, and it's like sometimes you don't even talk about what you wanted to talk about, but now you've just made a friend, and you can, whatever proposal you had for them, now you just, wait till after the convention, wait a couple days, and then shoot them an email. So that's definitely, cons are huge. Events are big opportunities to network. But I would say that is my biggest piece of advice. For the right and wrong way.
Yeah,
be genuine
and
Mm-hmm.
business cards are a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. But keep in mind, when you are talking to folks at a convention, you have to remember, let's just say the Xbox booth, for the sake of example, you're dealing with a lot of people who are staffing the booth. There are a lot of people who are making sure that the thing just doesn't set fire. Okay, so you won't always get the person you need to speak to. Like, I go to the booths, I'm at the Discord booth as often as I can. So if people want to talk to me about certain things via Discord, me and Will, my director, and other folks from Discord, we are here. We're doing the very best that we can to make sure at least there's some representation. But at the big shows, just like that guy is off doing an event in Eastern Massachusetts or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. Oh, they're not always available at shows to speak. So the truth is, if you're going to go to a show to speak to a developer or to speak to a PR person, they might be able to guide you in the right direction. Sometimes there's a business email where they can filter it and just go there. A huge help, worth going to chase it, but don't go expecting to meet the exact person that you need every single time. It's a rare case where you find the exact person you need.
That's super true, because a lot of community management people confuse for devs. And their role is completely different, or there's a whole different team that works with distributing keys, or you have to go through their PR agency to even request certain things like that, depending on who the person is. But I'll take it a step further. If you're out and about and you're talking to people, don't just walk up to them and hand them a card. Or if they're talking to somebody already, don't just be like, "Oh, excuse me, in just 1 second, here you go," then walk off, because that interaction, that card is going to end up on the floor, on his nightstand in the hotel, and probably stay there. So the best thing I can tell you is pick your times wisely. Be patient. If you see them talking to somebody, come back later. There's 3 days to the convention. Or if you're at a party, it's great. Try not to talk too much business at the party, because they're kind of there to relax, but find something relatable to talk about. And this is like an old car salesman pitch. If the person's wearing a football jersey, why not open the icebreaker talking about the football team, talking about football? If you're not into football, look at their hat. Find something, to break that ice, and for them to see, hey, this guy's pretty cool. And when I hand people my business card, I say, hey, do you have a Twitter that I can follow? I whip my phone out at that point, and then I get them to try to follow me, and if it works sometimes, a lot of time it works, sometimes it don't. And that way, if my car end up in a trash can, I'd be like, hey, we talked remember me? I saw you at the party. We follow each other on Twitter. Oh yeah, boom, and it's done. So try to get that Twitter handle is probably the best thing you could do because everyone has Twitter now in the industry. It seems.
I'm going to make Loco blush, and I'm going to remember how I've actually seen you approach other people at companies before, and you were actually extremely good at this. And I'm not going to say which company.
That's because she's tall as hell.
Wow. Really?
She's eye height. People got to be like, yo, Kevin
You're
Hart.
short, DJ, okay? You're just short.
I'm average.
I remember what happened was she was meeting with one of my peers who there is a moment where we all talk to one another. Gonna say this again. We all talk to one another. All of us. Yeah. So naturally, for a second, it was just like, he gave me the eye, like, cool or not cool. It was just like, go for it. And it wasn't because that you were hovering, you were just waiting your turn, but you were extremely professional. He had a great conversation with you, came back, he goes, good call on that one. I was like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot to be said about someone who's professional saying, I want to have a conversation about working with this company, and I just need information. You happen to get the exact person you needed to get, but that if it had been anyone else at the booth, they would have taken the time to find the information for you. And that goes the same way when it comes to Twitter and email as well. Sometimes in a big company, there's several thousand emails coming into one pipeline. There's being respectful and saying, hey, this needs to be addressed. A good company will take the time to filter that through the right person.
Yeah, I mean, I can attest for that. Me and Loco at PAX East, we said PAX East is about work. Like, we went top to bottom talking to everybody. But the funny thing I could tell you is preparation is key. Like, if you're going to a convention to get yourself known, and conventions are important, please step out of the box, go to a convention. Number one, I learned that a little later in the game than I should have. I only went to BlizzCon for some strange reason, and no one knew who I was, like, because I wasn't a big WoW streamer. But when I started going, I think TwitchCon was the first convention outside of BlizzCon that I went, and then I started going. This whole year was my first time I experienced PAX from start to finish, South, East, West. I've met so many people in the industry. I'm friends with people in the industry. I see Esco Blaze out there. Me and him are like brothers. Andy, me and him are like brothers. Like, you start to develop this relationship past the gaming industry, and those people get to know you on a personal level, and they will talk to other. I've watched a thread with Esco Blaze, Kat, Andy. It was like so many like community managers, developers in one thread talking to each other, laughing the fact that they're trying to reach out to people and they don't have their emails in their tags. Like, these are things that they remember, and it's just a good point. But to speak on Loco, she's really good at interacting and keeping it businessy, but not feeling too businessy. And I picked that up on her, and I learned some stuff from her. She don't just go in and say, hey, my name is Loco, I want to play your game, and this, that, and the other. She knows how to smile and talk about some things and compliment the game, compliment their work ethic and stuff like that. And I've used that in my lines and gotten plenty of opportunities. So yeah, make sure you come correct.
Yeah, please know the game. That would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your research beforehand before you go up and talk to somebody.
I love when Square Enix put out Evil Within. I've heard somebody say that.
Oh, I've heard worse.
I want to get to one more question. This is going to be my question, is what are the biggest mistakes that content creators make when talking to developers and PR? What are the big no-nos?
I'm going to keep this confined to an online and or Twitter communication. Number one, airing out your grievances on Twitter. Huge mistake. Everyone sees that. Now, respectfully speaking, that does sometimes get results. It does. I will fully admit when it's
people sympathize.
Yeah, no, sometimes there's things where a company goes, yeah, we totally screwed up. We need to fix that. Sometimes your actions are justified. There's a time and a place. Just be smart about how you go about it. However, there's times where sometimes a mistake that a company or several companies have made a mistake. It's like, this might cost me my career or a day of value. I ain't gonna fault you. I'm not. Sometimes you deserve to get hit, and you need to learn that.
There's also mistakes. Right ways to do that though. Like if you are a Twitch partner and you have an account manager, you should not be on Twitter complaining and like just tearing down Twitch. If you have an issue, you go to this is what I do. Like if there's something that I don't like, I will go to my account manager, and I'll just tell them directly, like, this is what I don't like, this is why, like, this is what we should do, this is my feedback. Don't be like, oh, dang it, Twitch, like, what the heck is your problem? Like, oh,
Well,
I
I'm in
hate
that
Twitch,
front
is always
page.
having issues. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, that's not gonna get you anywhere, and people see that, Twitch staff sees that, you're hurting opportunities. If you have criticism, okay, like, and you don't have anyone to reach out to, just be delicate the way that you put it on Twitter. Like, you know, don't, like, give constructive feedback. Don't just shout angry words.
And as we said, this whole industry is connected. You'd be surprised how small this world is when it comes to this industry. And naughty lists do exist. Oh, yeah, that was great.
He did not.
I didn't want to say blacklist, you know, but they do exist. Like, really, you can put yourself on a bad list, and can infect your whole career if you're just out there spitting some really nasty stuff in there. I've seen streamers, channels just drain the life out of them because they just couldn't control themselves at one point, and nobody wants to work with them. So just be careful on that.
Now, just a quick mistakes that you shouldn't make. Number one, unprofessional emails. Number two, lack of context in your particular communication. So the phrase "would love to work with you" and "love your content" way too vague. Be very specific, because you know what? If I'm releasing 4 games this year, which one are you talking about, bro? You know what I mean? If you're talking to Logitech, for example, and you want to work with us, what does that mean? What are you looking for? Like, there's a lot of things you have to be very specific. If you're going to speak to Nike and to say, hey, you know, looking at that, would love to work with you guys, what does that mean to Nike? You know what I mean? Are you talking about commercials? Do you want to have some endorsements? Are you going to be buying reviewing our shoes? Do you want the women's line? Do you want the cleats line? Do you want the sports line? Do you want the vintage line? Be specific about what you want. That is a huge mistake about not being consistently honest about what you're looking for. And then finally, the last big mistake is waiting till, when it comes to games, since a lot of this is about games, waiting till launch day. Not cool. Like, waiting till, I can understand not being aware of another game to, I can understand, like, hey, I had no idea this game's coming out, just dropped on me, but would love to play. Yeah,
I'm super guilty. I just did it with Original Sin, and I had the game.
Like,
I had the game.
Guilty. But if you are notorious for this, and you have someone's contact information, if you have the ability to make communication, like, there's some people, it's just like, I've known you for 3 years, you've had my email, you could have had this 3 weeks ago. Hey, man, can we talk about this real quick? It's just like, that's just you not paying attention. Now, be honest with me. You say, hey, by the way, I totally missed this. I'd like to have some context about where you've been in the pipeline, because it doesn't really do me any favors not being able to give you content if we already have a relationship. It's not helping me. If I know that I need 1,000 codes because everyone's knocking down my door for this particular game, and I know I'm going to get them all out, but 700 of those people decided to say, oh, I'll just wait till they get that one, you just made my job harder. Reality. And it's
any other don'ts that stand out? I would say big don'ts: when you get a key, like, only use it, like, only redeem it if you stream it. If you 100% plan on streaming it, don't redeem a key and then leave it forever. That's really bad. If you don't want the key, tell them you don't want the key. That's okay. Don't give away the key. If you got a key and you were, like, if you got a key for Destiny 2 and either you don't want to play it or you already bought it, don't give it to someone else. Either, like, just respond back to it and use it and ask them.
Yeah, without asking.
At least communicate.
Right.
Hey, by the way,
ask them.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah, like, ask them if it's, be like, hey, I already got a key. Can I give this away instead? Yeah. But don't just, like, distribute. Definitely don't sell it. That's that obvious. But believe it or not, they track where these keys go. So if they send you a key, they know where that's going. If you sold it or gave it to somebody else, they will know, and you will burn so many bridges. Not just with that company, but your name will be on a blacklist for sure.
I know firsthand, and that's probably all right. Listen, there's a dark list, and there's, like, under the house list. That selling keys puts you right under the house, man. Like, there's no coming back from that. No lie. I had no idea. And I was just like, what? You don't even want to talk. Don't even associate yourself with that person. That's how bad it is. It's no joke.
And you think it's obvious, but, like, I mean, you would be surprised, like.
Fan hit up a good one, a good do's and don't, I should say, is, like, she was saying I just automatically assumed it was a female. They said, excuse me, synchronize all your handles if possible. Because sometimes for some reason people want to have like Barbie King at Barbie King or something, but synchronize all your handles. And it's something I've done this year finally, because last year I was DJ Tech Live with a 3 in it because somebody thought it was funny to take my name when I was a full-time DJ. And they finally and when I became a little more important on Twitter, I was able to get that released. And now it's so beautiful to put images of like Imager or, Twitch and Twitter and just have one name.
Like, at least get it as close as you can.
Close
For me,
as possible,
I was Loco2525 on everything. I recently, in April, changed my Twitch name to just Loco to simplify it. It's like my other social medias still have the numbers, but there's a difference between that, where people will still know, like if they search Loco, I'll come up on Twitter. There's a difference between that and then being your Billy Bob on Twitter, and then your Twitch name is XGamerPro420 no scope.
Yeah.
like at least get it close. If you have to add like Twitch at the end of your Twitter, or like Caster or something, just get it as close as possible. Don't be completely irrelevant between all of your social medias. YouTube, Instagram, if you do that, get it all the same. Email, get a Gmail that's like a business email. Don't just use your old, like, I don't know, like kid soccer player 1 2 3 4 5.
Yeah, Inuyasha 382XX. Yeah, that stuff is
Yeah.
But yeah, long spellings and stuff. Yeah, try not to put too many X's and O's. Like, the thing is it's your branding. Branding is super important in this industry. I can't even that's you. It's your identifier, and you don't want to be like super cool 894 X person, because when it comes to people talking about talking to other industry professionals about you, you're like, man, I met this really cool streamer. Can't really remember his name. Was like XX2930, and there's like so many people with that name. They're not going to be able to find you. So yeah, keeping it short and concise. Be like Cool Gamer. It could be like Cool Gamer 1 if you want. I guess if you really wanted to have a number, but
It goes back to the notion that you have to remember that as many times as you may be looking for contact to contact companies, a lot of them are actually doing the reverse. Like, some people are actually trying to get in contact with you. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, but making it easier for someone on the larger side that can have a great opportunity for you just makes your life easier in return. That's it.
So that's gonna wrap up the show, even though we could go on forever. It's almost been 3 hours. So, Andy,
it's a pilot show.
You so much. Thank you so much for being a part of our first show.
Yeah. Thank you.
And really could not have had a better person. We'll probably have you back, dude, because there's just so much that we could talk about still.
Listen, I'm just grateful you guys gave me the opportunity. There's very few people that would ever give this kind of time to, and as I said before, I just want to be useful in the space where I am surrounded by the people who are building this community and building these businesses. So if I don't spend the time making sure that we're doing it right, I'm kind of useless. So anytime I have the ability to kind of push you guys further, I'm going to take it. So thank you for having me.
Oh man, thanks so much. And guys, this is not the only show. We're going to be here weekly, every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're typically going to be going for 2 hours. This is the pilot show, so we're trying to give you an overall breakdown of the show. We greatly appreciate having you guys here. It's been an amazing time. Your audience has been amazing. Your questions have been great, being in tune. I'm pretty sure there will be a VOD and a video up for this within the next couple of days, so do keep an eye out. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll post it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, it should be
and
up
on
right
StreamerSquare
now, actually.
Yeah,
right
there you
on,
go. Yeah. You can just go grab it. Yeah, right now. Check out StreamerSquare.com. I'm pretty sure all the information that you're going to need, all the recap and notes and stuff will be there as well. And we're going to just go around the room and do a quick shout out. So, Andy, you want to tell them where they can find you and, location of if they need to reach out to you?
Well, again, I'm with Discord. So number one, show some major love to Discord at all times. They are the fam, and you should love them always. I'm the senior account manager here. You can find me at Andy_Lunique on Twitter. And you can also find my cooking channel, which returns this October in the menu
Nice.
where all the food returns. I had to move and I also had to change companies, so I had to close down the stream for tons of reasons, but all the food returns very soon.
And Loco, what about you?
I am Loco. You can find me at twitch.tv/Loco. And my Twitter is Loco2525. Still got those numbers. So you can find me there. I've got I'm YouTube, Instagram, find me there, but mostly Twitch and Twitter are the best ways. What about you, DJ?
I'm DJ Tech Live. Stream 6 days a week. If you guys want to check me out, please feel free to come by the channel. You can find me at twitch.tv/DJ Tech Live. Also find me on Twitter at DJ Tech Live, Instagram at DJ Tech Live, pretty much anywhere at DJ Tech Live. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm very happy the way the show went. This is something that's been in a vision for ours for a long time, and to see it come together and see so many familiar faces in the chat, that made my night. And seeing the reception from you guys and how into it you guys are. This is why we do this, guys. It's complete genuine wanting to help you guys. And thank you so very much for being here. And Loco, if you have any closing remarks or anything, I guess that's it.
No, I want to thank you guys for coming out to the first show. I've been working on this project for months. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm gonna breathe after this show finally, because I have been so stressed and nervous for this, and it feels good, and we have just so much to talk about. Like, it's gonna be hard to fit it into 2.5 hours every week, but that's why we're doing it every single week, because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. And I won't leave you guys without a little teaser for next week. We have confirmed our guest, and we will be having Burke Black on the show next week, talking about being the best pirate on Twitch, game selection, and much more.
Oof.
It's really exciting to have him on. He is an incredible person and a fantastic streamer, and has one of the best production streams on Twitch. So we'll be having him next week. It should be awesome. And big thank you to you guys for coming out. And if you guys are a streamer, a dev, or somebody that wants to be on the show, reach out to me. Reach out to the StreamerSquare Twitter. Find us. Find DJ. If you have some wisdom that you'd like to impart on the Twitch community or the streaming community, we'd love to have you on the show. But that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great night, guys, and we'll see you later.
Eat more waffles.